Welcome back, everyone. We are here. It is VGJ Storm versus VGJ Gaming. Right now, Kyle is messing around with a bunch of stuff. We'll see what happens here. It's not me. And now, it's gone. So we're VGJ Storm versus VGJ Gaming. Two quick bans. Chen, as well as Enchantress. I mean, Chen's kind of a weird ban, I guess, already. Why?
I think once Ench is taken, they did Chen first. I mean, Storm, I know for a fact SVG loves this Chen, and I think they're one of the teams that's like mastered the new style of playing it. We just put it in the safe lane, and you make him the strongest babysitter in Dota.
Yeah.
Penitence.
Penitence. Yes, that is a very mispronounced word a lot of the time, by me especially.
Not a word you have very much experience with.
Well,
do you know what it means?
No, I do not.
Penitence is like to do, like to punish yourself for sins you've committed.
Oh, so if I've been a bad boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not, though. I'm not. Oh, BSJ, you're joining us as well.
Hi.
What's up,
I'm
dude?
here, yeah. I was just listening to
Penitence?
whatever shenanigans you guys are trying to pass the time with there, because instead I'll give you some educational stuff that actually pertains to the game of Dota 2 we're about to watch.
Why'd they ban Ogre? Give me that.
So, Ogre is another babysitting hero. Apparently, that is VGJ Storm's playstyle.
I can't wait till our camera's working. I've been playing BSJ Bingo. Or
Have
not
you?
BSJ Bingo. It's actually tic-tac-toe. I couldn't come up with enough for a bingo squares. But so far,
Have I made any tic-tac-toes?
you haven't won yet, but you're getting close.
Oh man, that's what that was about. I saw a grid, I saw my name, and I thought he was just listing all the things he loved about casting and working with me. That's kind of what I figured. That's probably on there, complimenting my own casting. That's probably on that tic-tac-toe
Yeah, well, no, it's
list.
actually once you do it the 10th time.
Oh,
That's the center square. 'Cause I know
Okay.
it's guaranteed
Have you
to
been
go
putting
down.
little tic-tacs or like
Yes.
little tally marks?
So
So-
why? They're banning a lot of these babysitter heroes,
Yeah.
right? And now, are they just ban? They're not banning out Resolution, but it feels like they're like kind of doing that, right? They're banning out the best babysitters because I think a lot of teams think it's Resolution, right? Is the team.
The two approaches you have is to ban the common supports that team picks, or ban like the really obnoxious cores. In last series, we saw a lot of cores getting banned in the first round. In this series, on the other hand, we're seeing a lot of supports get focused. So I feel like it's going to be heavily weighed one way or the other. And
Guess who
another
we see?
Wraith King, shocker.
Do you know? Apparently, he was picked in how many games were there? 6 of the 8 games.
Wow.
I heard. I already saw. So I believe Wraith King is looking pretty good for just as a hero.
Yeah, it turns out that once you give a hero free summons, and now they're not completely useless, suddenly Wraith King, who's always been, I think his major weakness has been that if he pulls ahead in any capacity, you never were like forced to deal with him. You could just leave him alone. But now if you leave him alone, he takes your tower. And that's a big component of professional Dota.
Yeah.
And so that's one hero that can disjoint the Wraith King stun.
Yep.
And I wouldn't mind if they pick another.
Hmm.
I think Wraith King's pure way of winning the lane is by stunning. So we can look at stuff like PL, Weaver, anything like that you just can't stun.
So why is he getting
Clinks.
first pick now? Like this was we saw it was second pick the games we watched. This is a complete first pick. Why? Like how if you can disjoint stuns, why is he first pick?
I honestly don't know if
That's
he's
the tower
powerful enough
pressure.
to be
I really think
first
it's
pick.
the tower pressure. The minion heroes are good, and a lot of them got nerfed.
How many of them have a
How many-
stun?
Remember when people would first pick Beastmaster every game?
Mhm.
That's what Wraith King is now. It's different, but it's a strength
I love
initiator,
that tiny pick.
strong laner, allows you to kill towers. And yes, I agree. I love Tiny. I think it's like the Willow counter in a lot
I
of
was gonna
ways. 'cause
say yes.
if this hero, like, it looks like an elf. It pretty much is an elf. If you scare her, you're not gonna be able to kill her, right?
Yeah.
If you could just pop out Invis and immediately take her out, you've dealt with your Willow problems. But otherwise, as we saw Crit in that last game, you can just take over.
The first and foremost thing about Tiny against Willow is at all stages of the game he can solo kill you, and that's something where what I mentioned about last game with Willow, if you watched Crit's perspective, like if you went through that replay, you just see him walking around the map with impunity. He didn't care. Like if he ran into 3 heroes, whoops, push W or whatever his hockey would be for Shadow Realm. It's one of those things where Tiny, on the other hand, if he's missing, Willow cannot play like that. And that's just a huge component of Willow's game, and that's why not only does he counter Willow that way, but Tiny also counters Weaver that way. So both heroes rely on their escapability and reaction to survive. Like they react to survive, and Tiny prevents that once he gets either the Shadow Blade or the Blink Dagger or both.
Yeah, and I mean we're looking at VGJ Gaming again. It's one of those teams. I mean you've got a legend like LanM, right? And then you've got these aren't new players just like last game, but they're reasonably untested at TI. It's not more than like 2 for each of them.
5 seconds.
And on VGJ Storm, I mean it's pretty much the same thing. These are relative newcomers, right? SVG has coached. Yawar, he hasn't played. Snaking is like Snaking and LanM. They're probably the most experienced players here.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. Like,
I know Resolution.
Resolution.
He
Where
was
was
playing
he?
mid for
on?
Empire back in when you were just a boy.
I'm probably older than him.
Wait, so yesterday?
Yeah.
True.
Today? No, but no, it is. This is a little less experience. Obviously, all these players. Everyone's just grown up, right? Like, I think nerves have gone away quite a bit in Dota because if everyone's nervous, no one's nervous.
Yeah, and a combination. I think everyone's getting better too, and they're more comfortable with what their responsibilities.
Wow.
Like, that is a
a
great
lane.
pick.
Yeah.
So good against Tiny Wraith King. You have no way of killing Tombstone. Your strength heroes, so the sap is doubly effective. And
They banned
you're
Peel.
so slow.
Yep.
You can't kill the zombies either. Like the cleave doesn't work on them.
And you can't buy eggs on Wraith King, or there's more zombies.
And they
And-
spawn on your little skeleton dudes.
Yes, they do. And your decay hits the Wraith King Ags as well, giving you strength. So it just guarantees you can't buy an item.
Does it really?
You literally said "and" before you had thought of something else to say.
And that's correct. No, I don't know. Undying's one of those heroes. He's a what would you? I consider him a 20-minute hero. It feels like if he owns for 20 minutes, he's done his job.
He used to be that way before talents.
But you think he
That level 15 talent
and a 20? You're right.
yeah, like
He's still a tombstone, but now he's got 2 tombstones.
Yeah.
that are double attacks.
tombstones.
And when you throw Weaver bugs on top of the zombies, like it's actually like near impossible to just target things properly. And heroes like Tiny Wraith King, like Tiny Tree, right? You have 5 attacks. You want to utilize all of them. If you're forced to hit a bug 4 times and zombie after zombie, like
true.
it's just miserable to play the game.
I think they're setting up for something like a
5
Wraith, or not a
seconds
Wraith,
remaining.
something like a Terrorblade
Nah,
on Vici.
you need a Medusa, I think.
You need a high attack. Like, okay, you either need a hero that kills the tomb while hitting other people, like Medusa, as you mentioned, or
Medusa
you need a
gyro.
hero that split pushes and like kills the tomb really fast.
Yeah.
And so I mentioned Terrorblade just because they're setting up this safe lane to be a hero that just gets what it gets with this Warlock pick. So you just like sit there sustaining. So I'm looking at these heroes that want to play like that, and I think also another option is Lycan. I think those are like 2 heroes that come to mind for me if I'm like in the safe lane looking at this VGJ Storm lineup.
BSJ as a carry player, I'm sure. What are your thoughts on Paparazzi, just in general? What does he do very well? compared to
Honestly,
other
he's one of
carries?
those players that I feel like when I watch him, I don't see one thing in particular that just stands out. I just see him as a very fundamental
10
high skill
seconds
player.
remaining.
Like he doesn't play a specific role really for the team, but he just does everything well. That's kind of how I've noticed him. It's hard for me to identify with him because he's kind of just an all-around player.
Yeah, which is not something BSJ is
Yeah,
experienced with.
yeah. I mean, I
Makes
was
sense.
implying that, but everyone was
I
supposed
just
to
want to
hope.
make
for
it clear to the fans out there that might not know
yeah.
how this TriCast really operates.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Now, so do you want him to pick their carry here, or do you take your possibly other support?
I mean, I think that Wraith King is probably going to turn into a
VGJ
support.
Storm.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. Unless, yeah, it'd be some real janky lanes if he's not. Man, Wraith King support then. What are your
I guess-
what are the thoughts on that?
I mean, it doesn't technically
be.
have to
Wait,
be
it
a
could be
support.
Tiny.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We've seen it.
I like Tiny support a lot more in this game than
Why?
I do Wraith King support. I think Wraith King is just only effective as a core unless it's a hard 5, and I think a hard 5, like hard 5 Wraith King gets an Undying.
Yeah.
Like you're worthless.
I just feel like Tiny Core could do so much against Marana, Weaver, Willow.
I think you you put your early game in too much jeopardy if you run around with the Wraith King support, whereas the Tiny is like incredibly strong at trading, and it allows you to like set up kills in your
Okay.
side lanes. I just think that
10
it
seconds remaining.
functions in the draft better.
Is that a
Oh.
mid Clinks? I mean,
Could
based
be.
on that Morphling ban, they assume it's a mid Clinks. I feel like Clinks could do pretty well safe lane, but I don't really like the idea of like Warlock Clinks safe lane. I think Clinks has the issue of getting ran at, and Warlock usually protects himself by healing his core. So I would much prefer they put the Warlock with a melee hero. Honestly, I have no idea what they're gonna pick here.
So, but this does mean it's going to be a 5 Undying, which means he probably doesn't get the tome.
10 seconds.
I mean, just being a 5 instead of a 4, right? It just pretty much means you get less of everything, right?
5 seconds.
Or no?
remaining.
Is that not a
Not
good way
always.
to put it?
Some heroes start as 5s and turn into 4s, like Wyvern, just because they naturally defend towers, like farm lanes and stuff. But Undying is a hero that doesn't farm. He doesn't like do all that much with items either for a support, and he doesn't need items to do his job early. So where does the farm go to Undying? So he's a hero that generally starts as the 5 and ends as the 5.
VGJ
Now, I remember the I remember the King RD Undying maxed out at 30 minutes.
Okay.
It's pretty nasty.
Wait, so
That's
real
an
quick here,
Underlord.
though, we have the debate. It's either Wraith King
It's
or
Wraith
Tiny
King
support.
It's
support
Wraith
now.
King.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's Wraith
we
King
assume
support.
it is.
That's just
What a
you-
draft.
Underlord versus Undying, man. It's another underrated aspect of Undying into the mid late game is the damage amp on your ultimate.
10 seconds
Underlord,
remaining.
his whole kit is built around being like,
5
what is his
seconds
nickname in China?
remaining.
I think it's Big Butt.
Yeah.
Like that's the hero concept.
He goes and he's there.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
And Undying crushes you in the laning phase and then allows your team to just take him out so quickly. And what do they kill Weaver with, guys? The first 2 Weaver.
Tiny.
The
It's up to Tiny. Yeah, it's possibly support, not support.
Are we going to see
Tiny.
like a Dragonlance Hood Weaver?
no.
Okay.
I think it's
Good
a
talk.
nice. I think treads, and then
Treads
like a
Aquila.
diffusal mace. Yeah, treads Aquila, and then like a diffuser maelstrom time.
I think he has to get one strength item, otherwise he will. Like, you have to preemptively, because if you die once to the Tiny combo, it gets easier and easier, as we mentioned in that last
Yeah.
game. So I feel like you do have to build one item on Weaver to make it so you avoid that first death from Tiny.
I think Dragonlance could happen.
Yeah, just something like that, right? Just something that says
I think
a
you
little
get
bit harder.
Lance. The treads Aquila is enough until the Echo. I think.
Okay.
And then you get your maelstrom or diffusal into Dragonlance. I like.
Okay. So
I-
you'd rather go the farming or enabling
Yeah,
item first.
I feel like if you have like this treads Dragonlance Weaver, it's so much gold expended, your power level isn't increased, and I think if Weaver just plays aggressively here, he gets that one connection into a couple kills in the tower. Now you're ahead. You get the defensive item next, and it like allows you to stay on map, stay strong. 'Cause it's
VG
dominant
Gaming
force.
has very little reach. They have very little ability to chase you. Like, they have this heavy team fight AoE lineup, but none of it can pursue you. So
And BSJ, for the fans at home, can you define reach?
Oh, yes.
What does that word really
Yes, of course.
mean?
It's basically able to close kills or continue chasing people is the way I look at it. So like kills from long range, like you're able to
Yeah.
like if they can't react when they see you, or you jump them before they can react, or if they like force staff away, they peel away, as you mentioned earlier, that you can continue chasing them. And
Fifth
Drow is
pick
actually a
Drow.
hero that's good against those type of lineups, surprisingly.
I like it a lot.
And-
It's
Wow.
a bit rough against Clinks, I think, in Wraith King, but if you get ahead, it's like this Underlord, right? If he had a Crimson Guard like we've seen, like Hood Crimson, like 15 minutes, all of a sudden the Drow lineup's in trouble. But I feel like the laning stage of VGJ Storm is so strong.
The Undying against the heroes that will be laning against the Drow is
Yeah,
really good.
Exactly.
In the silence this game, surprisingly enough, like against these heroes like Warlock, you want that ability. Like these non-committal ways of bursting these heroes down. And also, like, let's not forget, Mirana and Weaver are 2 heroes that, given that extra damage, can do so much. And in this patch, you don't really need that traditional offlaner. Like, they have the team fight from the 2 supports, so just pump out all that damage on the cores, and I think this draft pick is really good.
So you guys both think VGJ Storms is just a little bit stronger, easier to execute, maybe?
Yeah, but the
have
early
you-
Crimson, though.
Dude, they haven't lost a game with Drow.
Yeah.
In how long?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They might have dropped one at Summit. I don't remember, but I know for a fact they won 3 games with it in the qualifiers. They beat. I know they won a lot of scrims with this.
The way I look
This-
at Drow is like if you're against like a PL, even if you have like Shadowblade Hurricane Pike,
Yeah.
that PL's just going to chase you down. You're going to die anyway. But against their lineup, since we said they have very little reach, if he gets Hurricane Pike as a Drow, he's surprisingly survivable.
Dog, he's going Shadowblade BKB. He's not even.
He's
buying
getting a Hurricane Pike.
No, he's not.
We talked about the
No,
lack
he's
of reach.
not.
He needs the tankiness. He's
No,
going to build
dude,
Hurricane Pike.
no.
Okay, talk about it later.
crazy.
There's only one way to
Mirana,
know.
though,
Prepare
Mirana
for
is,
battle.
would you agree, the best mid hero to have at the Drow? Just the level 15 talent, all of a sudden every leap is 220 attack speed.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not fair.
Yeah,
And-
I think Queen of Pain and Storm are up there though. But
They
maybe
don't
in
have an
this
attack speed
particular, but in this
steroid.
particular patch, I think Mirana. Yeah, I'd have to agree.
It gives you
Weaver's
the
very good
utility,
for it too.
You have a stun. Yeah, I agree.
But let's just say
mid-year.
VGJ Storm has the issue that if VG can get to that point in the game where they can play up in your face with these bulky melee heroes, that's the whole idea behind Drow,
Can I
right?
hear your thoughts? I'm a little confused. I want to see because Boots First just isn't really a thing anymore, and this is a zero mana regen Wraith King.
He's got 3
support.
stuns now.
He does, but still, like, that just feels weird. Why do you get Boots first in lane, right? Because aren't lanes pretty 2-1-2 stag? Like,
Yeah.
Boots were good when you
30
roam to middle, right?
seconds to
Nowadays, it's just you sit in a lane.
Yeah.
It's all about creeps, too. Like, as a melee support, most of the time you see them, they'll be just denying or trying to mess up last hits.
Yeah.
And you want a stout shield so you can tank more hits. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, I'm
There's a
intrigued.
few supports nowadays that still go for it. I think Yapster is one of the most notable ones that I've seen that still
But
goes
not-
boots on a lot of heroes.
Not on Wraith King.
I'm not saying it's good on Wraith King. I'm just saying on supports in general, for whatever reason, these players favor having that movement speed.
Here we go. A hero you don't really want to square up on. SVG, he only hits the single. They do get the rune,
This
but
is a
it's
mid-drow.
fine. Is it? They moved
Yeah,
resolution.
mid-drow, side lane, Marana. And so,
Mind this, Tiny's always going to push the lane.
I don't know. He does not push it very much anymore with the cleave. It's only 30%
Sure.
cleave, and he has 90 damage for denying.
That is true.
So I feel like I'm curious to see how Ori plays it with the tree, but I've noticed that most players early game are just using the tree. They're not even trying to harass. They're just denying.
Yeah.
The
They just-
25% damage is insane,
They just don't want the Drow against the Underlord, looks like.
which is odd because I feel like with Undying it could have been okay.
Yeah, they don't. You know, it makes sense though because both side lanes are rather unfavorable, the Clinks or the Underlord. I just don't know if mid's much better. To your point, regarding
Rezo.
Lanham, he's got a lot of criticism in the Chinese scene for unconventional style, like not adapting to meta shifts, and
No.
he's almost out of regen as is. And as you said, it's a 2v2. Like, what are these boots gonna do?
Yeah, listen, we got a Mango here and just Decay, right?
Yeah,
Decay's a
the
3
shield,
for.
man. It's so value.
Yeah, and Decay's a 3 for, right? It takes their life
Yeah.
and does damage and gives you life because of the strength. It's a big one.
I just want to point out the mid lane CS right now.
Yeah, no.
4-4 to 1-0.
Yeah, I was showing in Resolution, actually. He skipped getting a free CS to hit the Tiny twice.
He's been hitting him all lane because he
Yeah.
knows if Tiny's allowed to walk up and just hit creeps, then Tiny will get every single deny. So he knows the only way he can actually secure himself CS is by making it so that Tiny's too weak to walk up.
That's big, though. He gets the range creep deny. How big? A range creep denies, how big do you guys consider them? I love range
They're
creep
not as
denies.
big as they used to be, but they're still massive.
They're just demoralizing.
Like, look at, he's ready, get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything about it. He's going to get every single deny when he has
this is-
tree up.
Well, part of the reason I'm so surprised it took this long for Tiny to get back in the meta, because you're a lane dominator, and you can get denies very easily with the bonus damage, and you have a stun.
Well, the
You have
damage went from
rotation speed.
10% to 25% in the recent patch.
Yeah.
That, like, not 7.19, but 7.18.
Isn't
So
it
that was the
30?
big deal. It's 25% at level 1.
So we haven't looked much at top lane, but Underlord as well as Snaking, they're both actually farming. I'm surprised Weaver has this much CS right now, but once the Firestorm spam level 2 Atrophy Ore comes out,
This is
can't
such
really
an
do anything.
annoying lane. Warlock Undying, like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
That Sakuchi last hit.
Yeah.
And now look at this Radiant scan. Rezo knows something's up. He sees the red, and look at he's just ready
His
to go into the
positioning
trees.
is really good here.
Yep.
Yep.
Very good use of the scan there.
He knows it ain't going to be a Warlock rotating, so if there's going to be a rotation, it's
stun.
going to come from the bottom lane, which is just something that you can always think about whenever lane you're in. What support will rotate on you?
Rezo is some of the best positioning of any core in Dota. Even when he farms jungle, he often ensures that he positions himself like
Where
optimal.
will the enemy come
Yeah,
from if they
exactly.
come? And
I've
he
talked
positions
with him at
himself
length
that way.
about this. Like, it's something he's thinking about as the game goes on. Like, he's going to continue to play topside because he knows the Wraith King is going to be, caster curse.
He is a little bit out, gets tossed all the way back. That should be not a tower hit, so he's just going to run away, actually.
he's fine.
He's an agility hero. He gets extra,
But he's
like,
missing
5
a
move
lot
speed.
during this. Tiny's,
And
uh,
he's still in trouble as well.
yeah, he's going to try to deny himself to Roche, it looks like. Not living the dream right now. Oh! Okay, well, saves the avalanche.
And Ori gets it, yep.
I like the first item Aquila on
Yes.
Tiny. He's just getting right-clicked all game, not
Get
only in
armor.
lane, but also past that because of the Drow lineup.
There's a kill top, actually. It's on 11. Dark Willow didn't even use Shadow Realm to help secure that. Must have a little bit out of
I can't
position
imagine
there.
how he
Weaver
overstepped his
Weaver
bounds,
bugs,
yeah.
And
Weaver
also,
bugs are
holy,
nuts.
he's hitting for 90 already.
Yep, the Aquila, as you said. That's just a good item. Do you think, is that one of the items you think might see a little bit of change?
I definitely think it needs to. It's been...
It's hard to change,
It is,
though.
because you can't make it worthless, but it's very strong.
Yeah, it feels like an item that's either going to always be purchased or never be purchased, and that's like the problem with these early game stat items is always one of them's better than the others.
I think alternatively, there can just be more things to make a Bassi out of. Like,
Okay.
make a Bassi into.
So
I
there
think
be like an
Aquila is
intelligence
fine.
version or something?
Yeah, there's just nothing that you can buy that's as value as an Aquila.
Uh-oh,
It's the only thing that
SG.
makes your creep waves tankier as well.
So
at
give
this
it some
stage of the game.
competition.
Yeah.
SVG
And-
will drop there. Looked like he was fighting for that rune. Who ended up getting it? Doesn't look like him.
There's a regen rune bottom. That's why you only need the boots.
True.
It's true. And now look at the stash. Wand double mango. He's ready to move. It just feels weird, right?
Going
Like you
on
could have
Fenrir
started
top.
with those.
They nice route by MSS. Like he blocks the path of Fenrir to escape.
Look at the
That was
bugs.
really well placed. He knew Fenrir was going to try to tango his way through the trees, so the route was blocking that entire path.
And that's part of the reason I think you see this Weaver picked up a lot. Not only the synergy with Drow, obviously, in this game, but the bugs in the laning phase, man. They're so good. Especially against low armor heroes like Underlord.
You see massive amounts of pings. Dire knows that Resolution has a ward over there. Probably gets countered soon. If
Bottom
not now.
lane, Tombstone deployed. Yawar gonna get the kill on Lanham. Got the double Starfall off originally, so just so much damage being pumped out from that combined with Drow Aura.
And
He's
there's
going
the
to buy
bounty.
bottle the rune. I like that play. Whenever you get a bounty rune spawn and you're like, it's efficient to do so, it's just, it's like 100, it's like 200 gold to regen for free because you get that rune. So
That's 4 runes, by the way.
Yep.
Not just 3. It is 4 for VGJ Storm.
that's
They
a,
get the D ward mid on the side of Vici, but he's level 6 to Resolution's level 4. And we mentioned like this tiny like in team fights is going to be honestly underwhelming in my opinion, but in terms of controlling the map when he gets this first item, he could really shut down these cores of VGJ from separating. So we might be looking at VGJ possibly planning to group up around this timing of Tiny, because if they let him get a couple kills in the mid game, that's quite scary for them.
just, yeah, but the thing is, Tiny's the only real playmaker.
Yeah.
Clinks is, he can rotate, but he's going to have to go to the Tiny's lane or just with the Wraith King. Yeah, wow.
And that's
Damage
just full
output.
HP to 0. He already flew out a flask. He has another healing salve coming. This is just...
He is getting his
rough.
levels though, so at the same time he's going to be a drow in a game where his whole purpose is to enable the other heroes. So I think it's mainly this Tiny's ability to do what we saw Sumail do last game, where he invaded the other lanes, completely ruining their games as well, not only the enemy mid laner. It's not enough to shut down a drow. You have to shut down the heroes that drow makes more powerful.
Yep. And the concern for Vici is that if you make a mistake, you fall behind, towers fall, and all of a sudden you're like one mistake away from losing the game.
Yeah, that's just
So
how
they're in
drow
a good
lineups
spot.
function, right?
I think if Tiny makes plays, and
Paparazzi
Underlord gets
dead
it over
bottom.
Crimson.
Oh,
Is he?
He should be. Nice gank there.
I'm surprised they're doing this while bottom, but I think that might just be that's the Undying versus Wraith King, right? Especially a Boots Wraith King. I mean,
yeah, the
support-
1/4 counters the other.
And then you get the extra damage. I mean, Yawar just gets free harass, right, with the Drow aura. And now Radiant pings out Dire's ward middle.
This
Middle
pops.
was almost a kill, but will be saved by the shadows.
The shadow of the moonlight.
Gets taken by the shadows.
Yeah.
You guys were ever scared of your shadows when you were little? Like you didn't know what it was? Or were you guys smart?
I was deathly afraid of like sharks. Anything that was
I don't
underwater.
know how that came up, but
Well, yeah, I mean, just that's what I was afraid of, man.
I only feared one thing: Velociraptors.
okay.
I also feared failure. Oh wait, that's no.
So yeah, I was about to say, so you're
Too real.
uh,
But top lane, I mean, this Underlord has a Vanguard already at
But look at
7
who's
minutes
here.
into the game.
the minus strength man himself. Undying's here. They're going to try to bring him. He's getting healed up by the Warlock. And Snake King actually right-clicking Fenrir on the backside. And
I mean, he has
Oh,
Warlock heal, he has a Vanguard, he has Atrophy Aura level 3.
We haven't mentioned him at all, but I think that the Underlord's game is even more important than the Tiny's. The fact that he's so strong already. The only real damage for VGJ is that the poke damage, is the raw physical damage output. And when you have a Crimson, the Tombstone, the bugs, they do 0 damage.
Yeah.
It is
Zero.
the counter. It is 0 damage.
What I wanted to be clear about, we mentioned it in the first game today, is that these heroes that play off map looking for kills, like Tiny, they're enabled by the other heroes that just walk down lanes and push them for you, setting up objectives. And Underlord's that hero for this Tiny. I don't like this TP in.
there's 2 people
But
TPing in. And
looks
it's
like they
going
wanna
to be
commit.
11. Yep, they're going to look for him, but 11 doesn't have any points in the pit. So no lockdown. There's going to be a little bit of a chase, but SVG is just going to swagger on out of there.
You take that.
Yeah, they have, like, with the Underlord having no points in his Pit of Malice, they just have no way of actually chasing them down. So the Tiny, being a very low move speed hero, he completely relies on his teammates to set him up at this stage in the game before he has one of his mobility items.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was very double. What? That was odd. This
Maybe
is
he
a
didn't
double
see the
ward by
first one?
Radiant. Huh. It's two different players, so yeah, could have been just a mistake.
Yeah, I love the way 11's like conceptually playing this game.
What do you mean by that?
He's playing the most dangerous part of the map. He's building himself to clear the wave, and that's it. He's trying to relieve pressure, and that's all he cares about. Like, he's not getting Pit of Malice in order to set up kills. He's not using his ultimate in any way. He says, I'm going to occupy the most dangerous part of the map, and my role is to survive and push this wave out, because that's what Weaver wants to do with a Drow, is just continuously apply pressure and kills. And it's like, if anybody else on his team were to have to go top, they'd just feed. So he's enabling the rest of his team to play.
And you want to simplify the game. Like, the only reason... VGJ, your move is simple. You're going to dive this top tower and take it.
Yeah.
They tried because the Underlord had left. But otherwise, he's going to plant himself there. You can
He's
then
a
ignore
wall.
the lane as Vici and play the other areas of the map.
But you can even make plays around this lane like they are now.
Oh, look at this.
And
It's
they're
going
on
to
the
be
bounty
a
runes.
smoke into a Moonlight Shadows, but they miss it. And now, I don't know about this 11 trying to go on him, and they want the rune. He's going to have to ulti out. Unfortunately, looks like 11 will get it for VGJ Storm, but VG Gaming, there's a lot of zombies up. Are they going to find anything, or is that just going to be runes for VG Gaming? Sure looks like it.
Zombies.
Yeah, Clinks gets both runes bottom as well.
So that's 4, and this is, I mean, VJ Storm got 4 runes last time, but guess which ones are worth more?
Yeah.
These ones.
It's a really...
You didn't give me the chance to guess.
Oh, sorry.
It's a close game so far, though. I think
It
it's
is.
still very much in either team's ballpark. It's going to come down to these rotations. Who's going to find the first real... who's going to score the first real point and then take a tower?
Yeah, like that top one, it could have, if VJ Storm stuck around, Vici could have just maybe wiped them, pushed their own tier 1, but so far, it's reasonably passive, right? 7 kills at 11 minutes. You do have a Clinks who's reasonably farmed, right? Once you get Tread, Soaring, Aquila, you just eat a big creep. You do a decent amount of damage.
Tiny's going for Blink instead of Shadowblade, which I like a lot against these heroes like Willow. Generally, Shadowblade's better if the opponent sees you briefly and you can still kill them. But against these heroes like Willow and Weaver and Mirana, if they see you under a sentry, they're going to get away. So the Blink gives you little time to react.
11?
Double damage Weaver.
Yep,
Well
there
played
it
by
is.
Snaking. That's the Drow Aura factor coming into play, and the DD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that just shows he was... I feel like he barely killed him there, and he had double damage and Drow Aura, so... This Underlord is still quite tanky, but that kill is quite important.
The thing about the Blink Dagger, to your point, is that you need to use it. Shadowblade, I think, is a lot less risky because it allows you to accelerate, and it's less all-in as far as I need to find kills to stay
But you said he's
relevant.
their only playmaker, so he knows this, right?
I'm
not
just,
saying
I
it's-
would rather a wand for sure and then a Shadowblade, but Blink's fine. If he lands a couple kills right off the bat, then he'll
He
pay for
has to
himself.
land a couple kills,
Yeah.
though.
Other thing is, it doesn't cost mana. Shadowblade, you can have mana issues, especially if you skip bottle, as he has.
Yeah.
And it looked like they maybe were trying to bait the Mirana into pushing that tier 1. They TP'd 2 people in, but they just back out. Now the Underlord heads bottom.
Morana's getting a Dragonlance of her own just so that she can survive
The combo.
the combo from Tiny, which I like a lot. Weaver has not gone that route, so if he can manage to catch Weaver with this Blink Dagger, that'd be a pretty huge kill. Weaver's been applying a ton of pressure top on Snake King, going for the Diffusal, which is quite scary for all of the heroes of Vici. Very low mana pools,
Yep.
heavily reliant on them.
I also hope he gets the mana break instead of the XP talent this game. I think you just stack that, and all these strength heroes on Vici, you show up, hit them 4 times, all of a sudden they've got no game whatsoever.
That's when mana burn's most effective, is when heroes heavily rely on mana and they don't have very much of it.
And well, top lane, Wraith King was level 4 for a long time, but gets some decent levels, almost level 7 now, with an urn, so Lanam
He's
does
forced to leave
recuperate.
top on the Underlord. That double damage kill is what makes this happen, and now he still doesn't have a point in his ultimate on Underlord, so he can't like play super aggressive up top and just TP out.
This could be a kill into a tower, which I'm sure they'd love. And this is on the second highest farmed, highest level in the game, Mirana.
I
And
don't
he
know how
does
you
have a
actually
level.
catch him unless you manage to get the Blink Dagger on Tiny off.
Well, there's 5 here, so let's see. Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
yo.
he sees everyone. All right, I'm out of here. See you guys later.
This is one of the Radiant advantages, though. This bottom tower, not nearly as effective as the top tower that Radiant secures,
Yeah.
because that sets up for Roche. This tower, what does it really
It
protect?
helps you farm the Radiant jungle as a core
Yeah.
for Vici, but
It just, you don't want to be playing bottom because it's the direct opposite of
Oh.
Roche.
especially against a Drow lineup.
And there's the bugs. You see 11 just focused on killing. Once you kill that, a lot of damage gone. He does, and they just have to get back. There comes the Dark Willow. It only hit 1 because Paparazzi was a little delayed in his TV. Goes for SVG, who's just going to run away. It looks like they get the easy kill on 11. Paparazzi in a lot of trouble. This is going to be another kill for VGJ Storm. Will he get SVG? No. But on the backside. Is it over yet?
Tiny's
Ori's
looking.
here, and he is going to stun. He will hit SVG, who will get taken down. But if you die here, that is not worth it at all.
Oh, dear.
MSS gets the kill. And there's a
And
tip.
the tip.
That's the first one I've
timing
seen.
on
Yeah.
that.
Wait, that
My
is that?
goodness.
We didn't see any in the first series, right?
No, we didn't.
And this is MSS.
And that was an EG series.
Yeah, I've never seen MSS. Either.
Hitting him with the AI step.
Oh, arrow hits on the... Nope, never mind. Not going to turn it into
Well, it
anything.
did hit him.
It did hit him.
Correct.
Yes. Testing you.
So it is 9-3. VGJ Storm. I mean, they're playing their drow lineup correctly.
That's the play that you fear if you're Vici. Like, that's your issue, is that if you try and defend this tower and then lose all these heroes, look at the 3k gold for VGJ. Drow suddenly walks back to the bottom lane. No one's left.
Yeah. What do you
Take
do
free 2 minutes of farm.
for Rezo?
You make so much space.
So what do you want to like? Is this game just on Ori to make stuff happen with Tiny, or how? Like, what do they do?
That's what it comes down to. I don't really know. Clinks is not a hero that makes his own game. Like, you can rotate, but like he doesn't solo kill anyone.
Yeah.
He's up
Not for a
+1.
while.
But the Wraith King, I stand by Wraith King support. When you're outmatched at level 1, how do you buy yourself a game? You don't clear creep waves. You don't push. Like, you're just a walking stun.
MSS.
Top lane.
Well,
They are smoked behind him, though.
Yeah, they are. They're looking for 11. Pin Mouse comes down. In comes the rock as well. Stun toss will hit on both of them. Snaking. He can't even use his ulti because he'll just go right back into the pit. He will survive.
Ori actually messed that up. He should have stun comboed the Weaver instead of the Willow.
I think he was invis.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
but he
that's
was on
right.
the pit with a sentry. I don't know. It was
Sentry,
close, yeah.
Sentry was placed late.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a big deal
Now-
that Staking got away, but if they can turn this into an
Oh.
objective.
Well, Snaking, he knows it's a free kill on Fenrir if he finds him, but it's nighttime.
Hits for 165 damage on Weaver with that double attack, 330 damage.
Yeah, so he did go for the XP as well, by the way.
Yeah,
But
that's exactly what you said, right?
I think they're both good because when you go XP with the Drow Aura, like, your stats are just so value. Like,
Yeah.
you can just get strong. The goal is the game doesn't end quick, so it's nice to get those other talents online.
Well, they're trying to bring this. They just want the rock, and well, it's 100 gold for MSS as well as level 9. That's almost a full spirit vessel now.
Dude, everybody wants the Rock. He's in like 4 blockbusters.
He is. I don't know. The Rock, he's all right. What if Stone Cold Steve Austin would have instead became the main actor instead of The Rock? Probably wouldn't have happened.
What ifs?
What ifs? What
Yeah.
ifs are a big thing in Dota. What if BSJ was playing TI? What if BSJ was casting TI? And, well, we know that one.
Yeah, and so far, that's up to you
Garbage.
guys. Yeah, oh, okay. Come on, man. I was going to say maybe the viewers can decide.
Well, that's why they gave him a tryout. You know, they
Yeah.
put him with 2 of the stalwart, reliable casters. You know,
Well, yeah,
so
we all said the reason why there's a TriCast is so you get at least 2 people's worth of quality.
Yeah.
And, like, they were like, we got Kyle, we got BSJ. We got, like, Analyst Grant and Caster
Oh my
Grant. But
goodness.
mid lane,
Instantly dead.
he's a worthless hero right now, honestly, with no
Oh,
gold.
and look at this. The bugs hit. That's the thing, right? These bugs are stacking. You are dead, 11. This is just a Drow lineup played to perfection. It feels like.
He doesn't look very
so
tanky
easy.
anymore.
You drop the tomb and you dive the tower is 5. And look at this. Top tower dead, mid tower dead. What time is it?
Game time.
Is it Roche?
Oh, Roche time.
I've got a question. I've almost never seen anyone at level 20 pick the 0.5 armor reduction. Is it just? I mean, 2 attacks is a lot, right?
It's basically like the bugs are so important to just stay on
Yeah,
that
you don't care.
there's really nothing that you could want
SVG.
more than making it harder to kill them.
I love that decision. Give the Aegis to your Weaver. He went Diffusal.
and he's the most farmed.
There's no way they're killing him twice.
Yeah.
They have to kill him in like a wraith or a tiny combo, and once they tiny combo him,
Look
he
at
has
his
free
item
reign.
choice. You like this heart second
I
item
love
on Weaver?
it.
I love it.
I legitimately love it. He doesn't
This is
need a
smart.
damage item or like anything to make himself more impactful because he has the Drow. And then if he can dangle for the rest of his team, no one else on his team wants to be in the front lines, right?
Yeah.
He wants to be the one
Yep.
that VG is forced to go on. And if he has a heart, then there's no way. They have very limited damage output in the mid game for VG since they're behind. And their tiny went blink instead of Shadow Blade.
And you need someone on your team to be the fight starter. Like, walk in there, get a Diffusal off, start hitting somebody, the tomb goes down, make yourself a target. And to your point, his other cores, you don't want them to do that.
Yeah.
They're more they survive through mobility, and in Drow's case, through just being behind everybody else.
If you don't have innate initiation, you need someone who can force the opponent
Yeah.
to start the fight on your terms, because you're like, we want you to go on this guy, so we're going to put him in front of
we
you.
gotta think of, like, some sort of word for that. It's like, it's not like a space maker because that has different connotations based around how like the map is played, but it's more like someone's got to get into the thick of things. The entry fragger.
Yeah. Okay. The frontliner.
That makes it sound like a Medusa.
Okay. I know what you're saying.
Do you?
I'd say like the
I'll
disruption
go
or
on
something
the
like that.
A thesaurus during the break, and
Okay.
we'll find one.
Okay.
Looks like we have a
They are
gank.
smoked up to top.
They're smoked. They have the Murano ulti as well if they wish to use it, but they might use that as an escape mechanism more than initiation.
I like that Clinks is bottom. This is really his best play.
Yeah, I was gonna bring on Paparazzi. Like, he's a little like tiny, right? Like, isn't Clink's best when he's picking off kills on the map?
Yeah.
Is that just not possible this game?
It's not possible this
Okay.
game. but
Underlord
you are
can't show
correct.
anymore. Underlord can't show
Yeah.
in lanes, and that's what you require in order to have kill threat. You need the lanes to be
here we
pushing in your
go.
favor. Looks like they want to fight
That's
here,
a
though.
5-on-5. They go in immediately. SVG doesn't even get taken down. Gets the tombstone. They get the rocket. It's pretty nice. We're gonna see a tear on the backside. Not yet. He hasn't used it. He will throw it in. Ori
Oh my god.
is gonna
the
die now.
Tombstone
The
lived
tear.
with one hit.
And look at this. A TP out from 11 doesn't have ulti. Lan M more than likely gonna die. Yes. Yawar gets the kill and Dust gets popped out, but Paparazzi makes it, and that's a 3-for-1. As you said, the tombstone with one hit mixed with the terrorize of Dark Willow.
Why are you able to miss up hill on that?
Why not?
Because every other thing you can't miss up on hill.
Yeah, okay, let me tell you the lore of it. So a spire, right? It is pretty much a spire, even though it
Okay.
is a tombstone.
I can see where you're going with that.
And so the tombstone does not have windows,
Okay.
so no one
Do
can see
spires
out
have
of it.
do spires have windows?
Yes,
Okay.
Rapunzel was in a spire.
Oh. Wait, so what do the windows have to do with it?
No one can see out of it. So if you can't see out of it, people can't see into it and hit it.
Reliably 100% of
Yes,
the time, but they
exactly.
can still take blind firing.
Yes, which that is why the misses are there.
Oh my god.
Oh, it feels like you guys didn't
If I just
brush
understood
up on your
lore,
lore.
if I just understood lore, I wouldn't have to remember anything about Dota. I would just
Yeah.
like be able to infer it.
Yeah.
Wow. Analyst Grant in a nutshell. But
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have 3 casters.
Yeah,
on
we
this
have
panel.
5.
We have 5.
Yeah.
Observer, analyst, caster, Grant. Just wait. You know, Savage Grant unfortunately couldn't make an appearance here at TI
yeah.
Well, that's a.
yet.
I feel like I'm savagely, this
Myself?
ops, but no, the ops, but yeah.
I
Well,
don't
he
know.
almost has so he has the Crimson Guard. We saw it actually, it did mitigate a ton of the damage, but are they just too far behind at this point?
I
Like,
feel like if Tombstone gets down, they lose
Yeah.
the fight.
The problem is you have to say there was some game I think Liquid ran a similar draft, but they were tanky and none of their cores died, and that allowed them to keep their towers alive because you can't group up as the Drow lineup. But now, like, it's just not enough,
Yeah.
and you're losing the 5-on-5s. And I feel like EG and VGJ Storm demonstrated the importance of having these supports with incredible teamfight impact.
Yeah.
The Tombstone goes down, the Fear lands. How do you win a fight as Vici?
you can't, as they just shown. Look at this, 11. It's not even the damages. Look at his mana pool just cut in half. He's still going. He says whatever. That's the best thing about Weaver. Like, your ulti, in a spot like this, you know you're not going to team fight, probably, so you can just harass with ulti.
What items Rezo got?
He had
He's going Hurricane
Dragon.
Pike.
No, he's not.
Yes,
I
he
thought he was
is.
going BKB.
Oh,
He's going 4-stat BKB.
Yeah, but he's going
Which
for the
you're
Hurricane
right,
Pike.
you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's the peel.
Yeah.
He knows that VG can't chase him past the tiny combo, so if he survives in 4 stats, he
Fenrir.
lives.
Fenrir just getting run down
dear.
by Snake King. We could watch the Underlord die instead.
What,
We'll
he
watch
died?
Fenrir die.
Yeah,
Oh
Underlord
my
died before getting his ulti out.
That's a blade mail on Tiny. That's not.
I've built this item recently. It's one of those where you're behind and you're like, I'm going to blink in and combo somebody,
Dude,
and then I know I'm going to die
Echo
anyway, so I might as
Saber-
well blade mail.
You go Echo Saber every game. It's the I'm a behind Tiny. It's the
I
I'm
don't
a
know,
Tiny
man. I
every
don't feel
game.
like Echo Saber enables you in fights this game. If he was playing for the pickoffs, yeah, Echo Saber's better, but if you saw last fight, he did a lot of damage
Oh,
with the
because you
blade
put
mail.
the blade mail on the racks.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what he's going with that, because you can't put an Echo Saber
don't
on the
know what
racks
you're
either.
going
Are you saying Echo Saber attacks with the racks twice?
Well,
Clinks gets
Resolution
picked
kills
off.
Paparazzi top.
Solo
What?
kills him.
Yeah, we're just
Shadow
watching
Blade,
this. Here we go. They're
silence.
going to go in. Rock's going to drop. Clinks does buy back.
Blade
Instantly,
mail.
SVG is dead. But as you said, the Tombstone's down. Lan M will slow everybody. Plus this upheaval. Everyone's just moving at 0 move speed at this point. MSS trying it away. Will Shadow Realm. Will go for the TP.
No
Ori,
tiny
do the stun.
avalanche.
Sure
Oh,
don't.
1 second cooldown.
So well played. They lose one. It's just SVG, the one they're trying to sacrifice. 9K advantage now. They get the tier 3. Rezo gets the solo kill.
That's the base thing,
He
right?
just got
So
Hurricane
efficient.
Pike, and he has 1,200 gold.
it's both teams making the right move. Vichi's just outmatched right now. It's like a 90-10 game. Storm is in a commanding position, and they play it right. Kill the split pusher. You're going to make the buyback play if you're
Whoa.
Vici, but it's just, it's too little too late.
They
And
won't
the
even let me
tip
go
once
over there.
again.
All right. MSS. Well, they're tipping each other, though.
Okay, that's nice.
It was a
That's
solo kill. Pardon me for missing. But do you think, now going back to the draft a little bit, like, they had to kind of see this drow coming, right? When you have a Dark Willow, a Weaver, and a Mirana, like, it had to be in the back of their mind, right? You
Yeah.
think they wanted him to pick it, maybe?
If there's one hero I think you don't want to play against Storm, it's Drow.
Yeah.
Like, that's their go-to, their favorite strat that they will pick. That's what won them the qualifier, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. I think they played in both games.
Pretty much, yeah. And it just feels like with the Tinies, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be able to get on top of this drow so easily, and then,
Yeah.
I mean, the Tiny's the one person who won the lane on his team, right? And out bottom, Paparazzi
No detection
running.
on the Weaver.
Yeah. He has a full heart, by the way. He has 2.6k HP with intelligence treads on. This Weaver is a tough one.
The
Would you
prob-
say he has a lot of heart?
I would say he does.
The problem is that Underlord, yeah, he won his lane, but he can only, his whole purpose is to sit on towers and be tanky. And if you're ever not tanky enough, like, there's no way for you to gain advantage for your team. Your
Yeah.
goal is to just stall.
Your
But-
goal is to take the dangerous farm and prevent the
Yeah.
opponent from getting objectives while doing so. And if you're not able to do that, then you're just not a hero in the game of Dota, honestly.
And
Like,
that's why
yeah,
goes
he
from
pops
top
Crimson
to-
Guard in fights, but
Okay.
you're not like, wow, the impact of this Underlord.
Possibly gonna be a fight middle, or they're just securing the jungle for Radiant. They just want everything. Might be a tier 2 though. I love snaking runs over to tank for the siege creep. Siege creeps are that important.
They do 55 damage per hit on towers.
Look at that. It even got the last hit.
Middle tower has fallen.
This guy's good.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
So Shrine getting attacked
Roche
now.
is their next objective for high ground.
Yep, they already killed top shrine. Their advantage went from that high ground push. Now it was 9. Now it's 14,000. Both shrines are dead. As you said, wait for next Roche. Probably get a BKB on Drow. Go high
Weaver's
ground.
just going to present himself like this, as he has been all game. He's just building tanky items. He went for the heart. Now he's going for a butterfly.
SVG gets his tranquil boots. He's
Nice.
ready to go.
He's online. He can now walk faster to lay Tombstone and die.
Well, looks like they had
I saw him
vision.
in a ward sentry combo.
This is such a tough kill though.
Radiant are scanning.
Let's see. Do they have it? They have dust on Undying. They know he's near top. Maybe they're like, maybe he'll just pop out. And he's running. He's running down.
And this is not the way you want to play on Clinks, but if you're behind like this, you have to. And he's actually just going to have to TP out. Still 1,000 gold off of his BKB on Clinks.
Yep. Meanwhile, Rezo has his. Yep. I think we might just. You're still scared, right? I mean, this is a
My eyes.
Pit of Malice, Firestorm plus Warlock into a. You can't just straight up do a Roche, can you?
I think the Warlock is the key.
It's a
If
big
you get
one,
that
yeah.
4-man Fatal Bomb off, it's rough.
Plus Rock. You just stun everyone. Everyone's taking 5,000 damage. Yeah, that's rough.
But this is VG Storm with the control of the Roche area with this
True.
ward, so they know they can do this, and they have Undying to break the smokes on top of where the ward is, so if the smoke breaks, the hero will be revealed, so they don't have to worry about a play VG could make about it.
So you like they give the second one to Mirana this time? Why not give it to the Weaver again?
He's just not going to die with the forward.
Okay.
No, he's just not going to die.
He's going Butterfly next. HP.
Notice how the
evasion.
Mirana even took the HP talent at level 10. Just little things. They know that the way they lose fights is getting bursted by Tiny, and as long as nobody gets bursted, then Tiny Clinks are quite underwhelming. And the Tombstone will pay off over the course of the fight.
Well, here we go. Middle lane.
Drow, Hurricane Pike, BKB, and Cheese.
I said everyone was here, and then Resolution just ran off to the jungle. But we are going to see a burst down. He doesn't want to lose the Aegis yet,
Oof.
and he won't. Barely.
They have any urn charges for
Radiant's
him?
bottom
No,
tower
no
is
Spirit
under
Vessel
attack.
charges. They haven't killed anybody. They're just...
They're surgically playing this game.
Yeah,
they
they
know they know the only way for them to lose is to throw this game at this point.
It's 17k now, the advantage. And I think it's less about the advantage, I would say, and just the items, right? Like, you're going to pick up items too if you're Vici, but once they have this BKB on Drow, Weaver, does he have a butterfly or did he just change?
He's going
No,
for
he's
it.
changing-
changing to a,
Apparently to a Moon Shard. It's for the night vision.
yeah.
For the night vision.
You're just tossing out 4,000 gold for the
It's for the night
night
vision.
vision. You
Yeah.
think 4,000
Tombstone
gold?
giving 1,800 night vision wasn't enough. Fun fact of the day.
That is weird. So honestly, why do you think he's going this?
Because he has damage to build attack speed? There's no way he
the value
completes
on
that.
the mana burn as well. And to your point, yeah, you have so much damage from the Drow that the attack speed is probably your most valued gold per DPS.
That is true,
Oh,
though.
look at this. Rezo might find another solo kill. He doesn't get his blink off in time. Will he have
Blade
enough damage?
mail.
I don't
Blade
think
mail.
so.
Got him.
Gets out.
Who took more damage there, the Drow or the Tiny?
Wow.
Drow with 40 armor, Tiny with 21. It's pretty close.
So how does Blade Mill work again at BSJ for the fans at home?
Yeah, if you deal 400 physical damage, for instance, and the guy has 20 armor, it counts as dealing him 400 damage that gets dealt to you, and that damage that gets dealt back is reduced by your own armor. So if Drow has 40 armor and Tiny has 20, he will take less damage while hitting the Tiny.
I just realized, man, if they brought the noob stream back, you would be perfect for it.
I mean,
Because they can relate.
I will be one amongst my people. Okay, I have to understand.
No,
you know.
your game mechanic knowledge is amazing. Trust me.
Oh, thank you.
It is very nice to have someone I can ask.
Yeah, I mean that's not why Kyle's here for sure.
I know that's Grant's pet peeve is like when people don't know Dota because he's
Yes.
like, man, 6 years ago.
Let me tell you the
explain-
story about the spires that have to do
Yeah,
with the dying tombstone.
In patch 6.4 now, but we do have almost a full Mjolnir up, or is it?
They're just waiting
The
for
chicken's
this
coming.
net worth advantage. How long do they have on Aegis? 2 minutes. They got all three. They got 3 out of 4 bounty runes. Klink's managed to snipe one of them, but you're just noticing the net worth steadily, slowly but surely climb in favor of VGJ. They can keep waiting for an opportunistic rune. The Mirana now has an arcane rune.
Is that opportunistic?
I think arcane rune is one of the most powerful runes in the game.
Shouldn't they
DD
give it to
would probably be
Snake
better.
King? Isn't that better
Weaver
on
is
Weaver?
one of the best arcane rune carriers, if not the best like carrier.
I think like Storm and Weaver.
Yeah, you have perma uptime on your Sakuchi.
A Scotty, the new choice for Snake King. I think
just
gonna
mixing
grab
it
him.
up.
Yeah,
I'm
he's-
honestly fine with that. He's against heroes that he
could
like
sell Wand and
slowly
get it,
hit, like
right?
all these tanky
Bottle.
melee heroes that you just slow to death, and then he just doesn't die ever.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah,
Full Scotty.
I'm perfectly fine with that
Yeah,
purchase.
because Vici, like, they don't really deal enough damage to take him out ever.
Oh,
and
Tombstone
he's-
goes down, by the way. Is this an early committed fight? It looks like they get a root down Underlord. Look at the Eye of Scott doing so much to the Underlord. Just slows him in place. There we're going to have a stun toss combo coming out on the backside, but it won't be enough. Yawar, he still has the Aegis as well. It's going to be a cancel ulti from 11, actually. No one's dead yet except 11. And now look at Snaking. He actually does not care. He is sitting at 3.5 HP. There's the Blade Mill, but Snaking, once again, doesn't care with all this HP. They're going for Ori. Will they get him? Doesn't look like it land him. Will just run in again. Pops ulti, will slow some people, but their axe is gone.
Dude, the Mjolnir as well on top of Snake King
Yeah.
is crazy.
Whenever you have that hero that can stand the front line,
Is
then
there-
it becomes even better. And the fact that they understand that, right? He's building that way. He's putting the Mjolnir onto Snake King. Snake King probably took 7,000 damage that fight, and then he's just back to full with that heart.
I mean, is there anything VG Gaming can do now? Right, like Warlock Rock Fatal Bonds, what we said is the comeback, and it's on cooldown for 140.
Yep.
They can't take fights without that. And Klinks is just underwhelming in this kind of spot, to be honest with you. He's a hero that relies on being able to push Q and kills people, and he just can't.
Look at Snake, he actually doesn't care. Gets to defuse a lot.
Has time lapse, then he doesn't care.
Yep, and this just prevents the Fatal Bonds.
He's gonna have to use it, yeah. Will.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say that's it.
Wow.
People are really favoring, like at least the NA team so far, really favoring that hero that the way they enable high ground is by running at you as this super tanky hero that you can't ignore. We saw the Alchemist for EG, we saw the Weaver here, and like I think that's a really cool aspect that these teams are understanding about how to end the game properly.
Yeah. And that is VGJ Storm. Just 32-minute game, pretty quick. I mean, it was a 5th pick Drow, and they just did everything they had to do. Maybe they messed up a little bit in the laning phase, but once it came down to the, hey, let's group up, hey, let's make like that first rotation top right, they get a kill, get the tier 1, everyone TPs in from VG Gaming, and then they're all gone.
Yep.
The one play I had a huge problem with from VG Gaming, I think, was the most exciting play. It wasn't something that's glaringly bad when you watch it, but when he was pressuring mid on Ori and just having free farm and his timings were all just going to be as whatever he wanted them to be, he decided to TP top, and he wasted a solid 45 seconds, and Rezo got 2 levels during that time, who was crippled, and it went from Tiny level 8 to Drow level 6 to both of them level 8, and that slowed down his timing, and you said he was their only playmaker, and it just felt like this Tiny, who had 8 denies in the first 3 creep waves, did nothing.
And to your point, it seems to me that both VGJ and EG, they stressed making that first move.
Yeah.
And you saw Sumail, he's rotating a lot. He's moving around the map constantly, but he's the one
dictating when it happens.
Exactly. Whereas
Or he
when
did
you,
it
when you
reactionarily.
force the course to react, we saw it in the Luna game before as well, where EG's just diving top. The Luna TPs into the tier 2, but it's just so ineffective. Like, I'd almost rather die than be forced to TP to now the dead area of the map. And I just think that the way the NA meta seems to be functioning, it's only been 3 games.
But it's been 3-0, and we do actually have some highlights over here, which
Well, it didn't start so well for Resolution,
Yeah.
but you can see this is that player you're talking about. This is what I think the strength of a Drow lineup is. We was just diving a bit. They dropped the Tomb. Here's the Fear. It doesn't quite catch the Clinks, but it doesn't really matter because, like, there's 2 heroes here. Like, look at the rest of VGJ Gaming's heroes as well. You can see they're running towards the top tier 2. Like,
they're
this
scrambling.
is never the play you want.
And you're having Undying who's already set up on you, so that Tombstone's already racking up zombies, and there's this Tiny that comes in for the kill, but, I mean, this is when he gets tipped. Yeah, like, you don't... That is not worth it at all. MSS thanking him for the triple kill.
And I saw this when I watched OpenAI play the human team, where our caster humans just continuously tried to defend towers. When the enemy would show up with 4 or 5 heroes, they're 2, then they're mass teleporting and looking to connect. It never works.
Yeah, if you're not prepared to defend a tower, like you're not already set up on it, it's one of the worst, like, costly mistakes you can make in all of Dota.
Because now you not only lose the tower,
you lose map control.
Yeah.
Because all of your heroes have TP'd away from the other side of the map, so the team is taking your top tower, and you're doing nothing bottom, so they just take your top tower, can TP somebody bottom and farm it, so they're farming all 3 lanes.
And it's the creep waves you miss, too, because assist gold notwithstanding, a level 7 hero is about the same golden XP as you'd get from a creep wave, right?
Wow.
When you give up 2 or 3 free waves to teleport in and then die, feels bad, man.
Yeah, that is exactly how I would express my emotion about that one. But overall, I think VGJ Storm was given their comfort zone type of lineup, and with a hero like Weaver, why do you not make aggressive plays? Because you're scared of dying. They didn't have any play to kill him until Tiny Blink, and you saw him just running rampant until that point.
My final word on the game, Drow, they should never get it. They shouldn't get it again. I'd say
Last
for the
pick.
rest of this tournament, don't give Storm Drow. Like, we can talk as much as we want about the game, but they don't lose with this
Run it
strat.
back. Don't give them draw.
Yep. So we are going to take a quick break. VGJ Storm defeats VGJ Gaming. They're up 1-0 in this, best of 2 series. And when we come back, game number 2. So stick around. Welcome back, everyone. We are here. VGJ Storm versus VGJ Gaming, game number 2. And what we just saw in game number 1 was VGJ Storm, as Kyle was mentioning. They got their drow, and they're ready to do it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't really know what else to add. Thanks for that summary, Grant.
You're welcome. So now game number 1
is in the books.
Over.
Yeah.
And game number 2, we have a Chen first ban again by VGJ Gaming.
Same bans, despite the draft last game that we talked about. We thought they might react to the last pick drow.
It's funny, though, like, we keep harping on it, but with any of the hero but drow, I feel like the flaws in the VGJ Storm draft would have been more prevalent. But, like, when Weaver gets so much damage just thanks to his teammate, and he's able to then itemize for pure survivability, like, doesn't really look like the draft is squishy, but realistically, they're going to have big issues, I think, if that last pick is something else.
Yeah, for sure. I feel if they're not going to ban it now, that they're fine with making sure it's not being picked last, because they were clearly caught with their pants down and not in the correct way going into that like final pick. Like we were talking about how they had those issues of being able to catch you, and Drow's a hero that she's not exactly escapable, obviously, but she is a hero that heavily is countered by this idea of getting up in her face. And the VGJ Gaming store or the VGJ Gaming lineup had those issues, and you just saw it. Like these Weaver Marana heroes, they just took the health talent, they built purely defensive, and suddenly that ability to burst and like get in your face from VGJ Gaming was just completely negated.
Yep.
So they think Weaver's that important to pick first pick here.
Is there a chance of the Ursa from VGJ Storm? It feels like some teams like that.
I would like them to pick something that makes it so Weaver doesn't have free reign. Is it crazy to pick something like a Rubik? I know that hero is not a good laner.
Yeah.
I'm just mentioning it as something where, like, just I'm not saying Rubik specifically, but something like that that threatens the Weaver at all stages in the game.
I think there's other heroes that are just as effective.
Let name one. Like, you know,
I'd rather a Willow than, than a Rubik.
Okay.
Like, it's a bit better in lane, and I feel like it's just more for you than a Rubik.
Okay, Wraith King Willow again, you think? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
I
very
like
potent
this a lot.
combo
Mhm.
that I've seen a lot in my pubs. I've seen already this tournament, twice, maybe 3 times. And it's quite a scary lane. They just stun you and right-click you.
Yeah.
The stun into root combo that we've mentioned.
And I love core Wraith King against Weaver. I don't like support Wraith King
You
at
have
all.
to sentry the lane.
Yeah.
But I laned against this once specifically against, I believe it was 9 Pasha and Crit.
The laning phase, I don't care as much about. Like, you'll trade, and that's fine. It's
Yeah.
more that you're going to go like this Treads Blink build on Wraith King and then hunt Weaver all game.
My point, though, is if you have a sentry in lane, Weaver can't farm the lane. He legitimately cannot walk up to hit creep, because usually Weaver will secure early CS like on the range creeps to prevent denies with Sakuchi. So with Wraith King Willow, you cannot do that. So I wouldn't mind if VG Gaming like picks something that's meant to force Wraith King Willow to stun it, like a tree or something like that.
Wow, that's different.
Different how?
It's just we haven't seen the hero.
It's
So
just different.
Oracle-
It's just different.
That's
it. That's my.
I
No,
love
Oracle
that.
mid game does counter Willow because you prevent all the magical damage
True.
and you can remove Willow's stuff, like
Yeah.
all of her
No,
disables.
it's a 1-to-1 counter.
Yeah, it is.
Your kit completely just counters Dark Willow's
Not in the
kit.
laning stage though.
True.
But in the mid game to late game, yes. So cores that would previously not be able to farm the map because they're afraid of Willow simply solo killing them, like we saw Crit doing to the Sylar's Luna, these cores can now sit on the map because they have an Oracle behind them. So that's the idea behind the Oracle. So past the laning stage, I expect them to have a hero that Oracle needs to play with. They're not going to put it with the Weaver past the laning stage because Weaver's self-sufficient. They're going to put it with something else. A hero that previously would not be able to do that and could capitalize on the ability to do so.
You guys are just so insightful. You know, Grant remarking that it's a different hero,
Yeah.
and you follow that up with it's going to be partnered with something else.
I know.
I mean,
That's crazy.
it is
You know what
mind-blowing
Yeah.
insight, really.
You know what the biggest thing I've seen? from
Opening
this-
your eyes to Dota.
The biggest thing I've seen in this draft is when they're in the. Do you notice the mark on the ban? It actually goes out of the portrait a
Wow.
little bit to the left.
Wow.
I was just saying, yeah. I
It's
never
in
noticed
beta.
that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I like it.
Oh, you
It
think
adds
it's
some
intentional?
spice. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, they
little
plan that.
spice.
That does look stylish. But
So
they
what-
banned the Huskar, so that opens up a lot of these like Ember type heroes that would just
Mhm.
get dominated by Huskar in lane.
I don't
Um,
know. Are you talking about for Vici?
Yeah, for VGJ Storm, you like if you ban this
Oh.
Huskar, that tells me they have to, I know they see the Oracle, but it also allows you to ban or to pick these heroes that
I-
are not pickable with Huskar.
I think it's more just get rid of it because of Oracle Huskar. I get what you're saying, but I don't think you want to pick Ember into Oracle either.
okay.
Like Ember into Weaver Oracle just seems sad.
I'm
days.
just mentioning Ember as one hero that gets countered that you're now enabled
Mhm.
to pick.
I like the Lion against the Weaver.
The
and
Hex is not dispellable by
Exactly,
Fortune's End or by
exactly.
what's it called? Sorry, False Promise. False
false
Promise.
promise, indeed. I like it just because Hex is insane against Dispel. It's also not cleansed by the Fortune's End. that-
False
Yeah.
Promise.
No, both. They both.
Yeah, neither
Neither.
of them. But False Promise is a strong dispel and still does not remove
Correct.
it.
Oh, that's an interesting mechanic. Can you explain the difference between strong and basic dispels?
Strong will remove stuns, while basic will only remove stuff like silences or roots.
Mm.
And like that, the strong dispels in the game are False Promise, Abaddon Shield, Legion, Press the Attack. Are there any others? I can't think of them.
Bad and alt.
Oh yes, Abaddon Ult.
And,
I was thinking about things to save others, but Slark Dark Pact is also one. But the nice
Yep.
thing about Lion is when you pick him against these heroes is, like we said, Hex is not dispellable with anything. So suddenly this Oracle save is not as nearly as powerful as it
Mhm.
previously was.
It's more like even when you don't have the freedom of movement. Like the problem with dealing with an Oracle is that you would false promise someone and then they're unstunned. All of a sudden they're BKBing
Yeah.
or they're casting like a Weaver's as an example can then get his ult off.
yeah.
And now they're just completely safe. Whereas if you have the Hex that persists through that, you have a 1 to 2 second window to restun
Yeah, to
and
rechain the
disable the
stun.
hero.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it doesn't mess with your CC chain, and that's what makes it so effective. I think back, what event was it? Some ESL where Solo's Oracle made some like crazy plays saving Ramses Luna, and it just turned fights around because you're not expecting this hero to all of a sudden just be still in the fight. You don't have that window you thought, and then you're just getting crushed.
The one thing I see with this Lion pick though is they are facing a Weaver Tiny, two very strong laning cores, so they have to pick a safe laner that just doesn't get crushed. Almost
10
always save
seconds
the last
remaining.
pick for mid, almost always. And so with that in mind, you know, what I don't know what I see that
Ranged.
lanes well
I
against
think
Weaver
VGJ
and Tiny.
Storm's different. They don't always save their middle for last.
I mean, they picked Drow
ran
last and they
Rezo.
put it
They
mid.
did. That's true. But I think VGJ Storm, when they do, they draft Rezo's hero no matter
Yeah.
what last, like
Yeah.
100% of the time, I think.
And then
Do
whatever
you
lane
think-
it's going to.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of a Clinks?
Again, on
I don't
VGJ
love
Storm.
any game where Clinks' strafe can get purged by the Oracle's
That's a good point.
Fortune's End, but
Don't you juke it with your strafe?
you get purged and then don't take damage,
Hey.
is what I understand.
Really?
But I know you get
But you
purged.
dodge
But you don't
the
Uh,
understand
projectile.
much, so.
That is true. Hey, you said my in-game mechanics are the one thing I got going for me,
But then
man.
you doubted yourself.
Yeah, no,
And
doubt
an
it.
incredibly strong jaw.
that
Yes.
is true. My jawline is something else.
Yep.
You're like tiny.
It's cut from Play-Doh.
Yeah. I start small, but by the end of it.
VG Gaming's turn to
Marana. So this is what they picked last game. This is what they picked last game.
I like it. It fills the same role as a Clinks, but to your point, it's not it's not purgeable, and I think it's just more solid when you have all this lockdown. You have the follow-up arrow, an invis on your entire team is going to land easy team fight victories, and I just like Marana as a hero. I think this is one of the more underrated heroes. We see it all the time, but I just feel like it's so balanced. Mix of magical and physical damage, farming potential, the utility of the ult, the
Well-rounded
escape
hero.
mechanism, great talents. Like, there's very few heroes. Oh, multi-role, multi-lane versatility. Like, it's a jack of all
Now,
trades.
you have to ban Drow if you're VG Gaming, right?
Yeah, I would hope
You
so.
will ban Drow.
Don't
What do
Um,
they want? You go for your other support here. What's good? What if they? I'm looking. There's just. What do you want to put? Because you don't want Weaver Oracle, right?
No.
I think you want a melee hero for your Weaver.
And who would that be? We see Ogre
I do
Undying
like
Man?
Tree a lot, but I only see it in pubs. I guess I never really see it in these matches. But Tree seems like a
I
really
really
good
like
hero.
Tree.
They like Hunt.
That's
Who is
kind of
melee?
similar concept because you just want a way to lock down these like runaway heroes. But I guess that's their mid laner, right? They usually run it mid.
I mean, that's just China in general is a big fan of the core Kunkka. I think it can go both ways. It's a great, like,
It's
it's
a 1-1
open.
counter to
Lan M was like the original Kunkka, though. Back, I know he
is
played
true.
it at TI6. I'm pretty sure he played it at, was that TI4, Lano? I think that was his Bane Undying meta, but he is a huge fan of the Kunkka. And I remember my brother being really upset with me like a year and a half ago because we're watching him play it at TI, and he went the armlet build. And he was
Yeah.
playing this super
I remember that.
manly
He went like phase
Kunkka style.
armlet.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, I told you that was the way to play it, and you didn't believe me.
Yeah.
And everyone else is buying Aetherlands. He's just rolling up with
So
armlet
I guess
phase
it could
boots.
be like a tanky melee support for them if they want to go that route. Either way, a hero like Weaver in this game needs a hero to frontline for him. Otherwise, like in the laning stage, soak abilities.
That was instant.
Oh man.
That was instantaneous.
Definitely
Yeah,
don't have
and-
to ban Drow if you pick
Yep,
that hero.
exactly.
And that's probably why they didn't, right? They set this up. They're like, the VGJ Storm maybe was feeling a little bit comfortable, and now all of a sudden,
Don't you
Real-
just pick Bristle here? Aren't you a Bristle fan, Kyle?
I am, but the issue is that Brood, the new way it's played, they'll just outfarm you, and Bristle's only hope is to, like, chase around the Brood, and that's just not something you can do. I like Beastmaster because your axes one-shot the spiders the entire game. I'm a big fan of Kunkka. Obviously, that's not an option. I think Beastmaster is your best bet for VGJ Storm. It's not the
Okay.
greatest game, but it just crushes Brood thoroughly.
Okay.
TA is a possibility, but
Oh yeah, TA.
I don't like it in this game. I feel like it doesn't really fill the hole in VG's draft.
Understanding their players, though, I think TA will be their pick.
I think
To
so
be
as
honest
well.
with you, like
I
the
think
way
Alwar
that
plays it.
VGJ drafts and their
Mhm.
players, I have to believe they'll pick a scaling mid to go against that.
Yep.
And TA is
I
the best one
hope
for
they
that.
don't do something like Lena. Like, I'd be very
You
upset.
can't pick Lena.
You can't pick like Lena or Lesh. It's a very small pool you're choosing from, and I would agree. I think TA is more likely, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It is.
Once you mention it, I'm like, that's exactly the kind of way they play. It's
Yep.
a hero that matches up well against Brood because of the side blades. The idea is you need a hero that can defend itself, and not only that, but as you mentioned with a hero like Bristle, the problem is Brood just going to outfarm you, but TA can
Yeah.
keep up
And
with Brood.
You threaten him a lot more effectively because of the traps that now
Yeah.
also do damage, so you can kill the spiders. The issue with Bristle is that even if you're killing spiders, it takes too long,
Yeah, you have
and
to
they just
chase 'em for a
regen
while.
through. So you
Yeah.
hit them with 2 spines, but now they're just running away hasted. You're not going to get the third off. They're still alive. They go farm.
I don't think you can pick Brood right here with the TA still in the
No.
pool.
Do you think is it gonna be 11 going mid on the Brood, or are they possibly gonna throw it to the off lane? Because it is Ori Tiny and 11 on Brood.
They'll probably put the Brood side lane.
Mm.
Do you like
and
that?
They have to. I
They have
think.
to.
I'm
Ye-
just not a fan of the pick in general. To your point, like,
Yeah.
isn't Tiny just like an off laner?
Yeah.
I just think it's a better role for the hero.
Yeah, from
I
what
agree.
I've heard, Tiny wins the first 3 waves of any lane,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're not winning the lane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's pretty much
It's
what I've
just
heard.
perfect for an off laner.
Yeah.
And then the items you buy are so cheap,
Yeah.
but they don't seem right for a 2-player to be buying them. But it's like Shadowblade Echo Blink. You hit a huge time on each point. After that, what, like your AC? I mean,
Yeah.
that
Tiny's an odd hero
15 minutes
because
later?
Level 1 to 3, he's strong, and then he's weak level 4 and 5 relatively, and then he's like strong again at level 6. So
yeah.
it's just like, yeah, you're right. He does
Yeah,
win the first
yeah,
few waves.
And it's also you want to buy bottle on the hero,
Yeah.
and you need to be in the side lane if you'd like to do that.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, Bottle's not nearly as effective in the mid lane as it used to be.
So you guys, you think the TA like really spun the draft around here, or do you still like the Brood last pick?
I think the Brood last pick is completely negated by the TA, but it looks like, are they putting the Brood mid?
They are
Oh,
double
man.
tango.
It all comes down to the matchup because Brood can snowball and crush a TA. I just don't think he will. And part of it is the damage numbers. 48 on the Brood. What's TA at?
It's like 50. Yeah. I was gonna say
66.
yeah.
Without
That was base
That's-
damage, so she's up to 66, and
That's-
that's without refraction.
How much? That's like almost 20 damage.
that's true.
Wow, that's grand level math right
That
there.
is.
And then you add refraction into the mix. Like, you actually just can't CS unless you have spiders. And if you're CSing with spiders, they're getting side-bladed.
So
The whole idea
And-
about Brood is she's supposed to be forcing a ton
Yeah.
of rotations and reactions, or at least out-farming her
30
opponent, and
seconds
that
to
it's not how it works against
Ooh,
TA.
here's a mechanic for you. If Broodmother pops ult and attacks TA through refraction, does she lifesteal?
No.
You're right.
yes.
Another way-
No. Oh God.
I'm under the impression lifesteal works based on how much damage you
Yeah, exactly.
did to the hero. So it's just like the same idea. If somebody has 10 health and you crit them for 1,000, you're lifestealing 10 health worth, not 1,000.
Are you positive on
I
that?
don't know if that's how it functions.
It is.
You know, I think Wraith King
It is.
lifesteal functions differently. I'm not actually sure.
Oh, top.
Oh! Snipes it.
See it go now.
SVG with that quick impale for the rune, so they get 3 on the side of VGJ. Or no, they only get 2
It's 2 for
still.
2, yeah.
Huh. Oh, I guess they won like the right-click battle top.
Yeah. This is great. I'm just like sitting in the middle, and you give me like a dual monitor setup, and I don't even have to use the camera.
Yeah, we know
Thanks,
you're,
guys.
You're
one
welcome.
task is enough for you at all
Yeah,
times.
I'm not a multitasker.
Yeah, the mid lane's the one we definitely have to pay attention to because it should just be a
Top, sure.
farm fest, but at the same time, it's one of those things where this is a matchup will snowball one way or the other in terms of farm speed.
This is the way you got to play it if you're Brood as well. You just have to hit the TA. You can't out CS him to force him away. He's going to miss the CS on the Archer. Did he get XP? Oh, he'll get XP.
Look at this.
This is how you saw Rezo playing it on Drow. When he knew he couldn't out CS, he just
Oh,
Oh.
the doubles.
The value.
That is actually value.
Doubles.
So what's going on bottom? This is the Kunkka hero. We only see a couple, right? Just a couple heroes play that still in the 4. We are going to see initiation. It's going to be a nice pop-up there by Lan M. Paparazzi will just do some scooch damage and run away. But so why don't we see Kunkka as much in the 4 role as we used to? Like, what happened to the hero? It's just his toolkit isn't as good as other heroes? Or
I just don't think it's as... It doesn't do as much damage, and the team fight, in comparison to a lot of these other heroes, like, it's hard to play Kunkka.
Yeah, that too.
You know, like Dark Willow, you just hang out. CM, you just cast your spells. But it's much like Earth Spirit. It's just too complicated, and you can pick other heroes that are going to have a more predictable output as
Yep.
far as their impact
I
on the
was
game.
trying to get there, but it just didn't happen.
Sorry.
There will be a first blood on MSS. Ori will pick it up, and there's going to be 2 kills bottom. They just run at each other now. It's Weaver versus Wraith. Aren't bugs just super value in a lane like this?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you just throw them on. Like, Wraith King has terrible base attack time. You try to attack him off, but you don't.
I think Vichi's definitely going to be favored in this bottom lane. Maybe even both side lanes, but mid is the issue.
Yeah, they placed the sentry down, but won't find anyone quite. Do we have a sentry to counter? We do. It's on Lan M. So we'll see if they sentry the sentry or
Dude,
not.
he went boots first again.
Yeah. It's just Lan M doing Lan M things.
I just don't know, man.
Oh, there's the stun from SVG, but Torrented will be the king. And it is snaking in the safe lane, while Resolution is top lane on the Mirana. Arrows the range creep.
I like this choice. I don't think you ever want to put a melee hero against Tiny, especially one that spawns creeps.
Yeah, for sure. Middle lane, though. 11, Yawar, and it is 25 versus 12 to the TA doing good. Look at that damage. Just pumps it on out. Brood not feeling too hot. There's a double damage bottom. Looks like it will be picked up here by Boots first, Kunkka.
The value. That would have taken him at least an extra 5 seconds to get there.
And now top lane, Shadow Realm. We'll just get popped, do a little bit of damage here.
And it turns your whole attack into magic damage. So if you get the W off later on, the Fate's Edict, not the Fate's Edict, the thing that Oracle has, the W, it'll do 0 damage, which is quite nice.
I got
It is Fate's Edict.
Yeah,
Wow, there you go.
Believe in yourself.
I was like gonna correct you, and I'm like, and you were correct. I'm used to having to, edit what you're saying, but that time around.
So where do you go right now? Obviously, the TA is going to have the most last hits. I mean, that's playing against a Brood. But the top lane is actually going very well for Resolution versus a Tiny.
I mean, I think that's to be expected. Like, Tiny 0 armor hero, you're playing against 2 ranged heroes. But I'm telling you, I'm just afraid. Once TA hits 6, I don't think Brood can play mid anymore, especially if he doesn't have a sentry. With a sentry, it's possible, but you're going to be... The thing Brood fears is heroes that can kill his tower and force him out of lane. TA does both.
Well, top AK bottom lane. It's going to be one stun into another stun. The sentry was countered, so Dire does kill Radiant's sentry, which saves Paparazzi right there. Good job by Lan M. But another stun's going to fly. If you didn't know, it does damage over time. It's doing a little bit snaking. Just going to try. SVG popping that mango, but instead he's going to get turned on, so both of them are low. SVG got greedy. Top lane Resolution kills Fenrir. That's going to be the worst support, right? You're like, I'm about to get a double kill, and then you just get kited the entire time and go down. But look at this. Roots are going to be placed down, but a nice job. Ori
That's hard.
The fancy footwork there. Looked like if he wanted to dodge that, he was going to eat an arrow, but no,
Yeah.
he dodges every ability. Nicely done.
He was in the force, but he certainly wasn't blind.
He was not.
Wow, dude, oh my goodness.
Look at that. I mean,
that is TA versus Brood, folks.
And that's like 2 creeps. It looks like about 9 times 9. Give
He's
me
only
that
hit by
81.
200 net worth, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the CS is
It's the
quite
XP
inflated.
too.
You look, he's almost a full level up. Well, not really. He's like almost a half level up, which is very nice. And he is level 6 now. So do you think you have to buy him a sentry? He has to buy his own, or
Somebody's
he just goes
got to buy
jungle?
one. Yeah, I mean,
Here? Nope.
the concern is that you're going to have your tower pressured. And the trap spam, you can put one behind the tower, or like all around the tower essentially. And then if Brood runs on top of it, you pop it, run at the spiders, one side blade attack, kills everything. Level 7 refraction at least, they'll kill everything.
But the gold lead is in favor of VGJ Gaming. Mostly it seems like this bottom lane is going reasonably well for them, even though Weaver is pretty low in net worth. Everyone's pretty even still. No one's taking this crazy TA-like lead.
Yeah. It's just again a question of like who makes plays for VG Gaming, and it's going to be involving them connecting to the Brood
Oh,
lane.
Weaver getting caught.
Wow, the skeleton damage! Oh my
Too much.
goodness gracious!
And look at, they're going to keep going.
Yeah,
They
stun again in
continue.
1 second. Level 3 stun from
This
the
will be
Wraith.
another kill. Look at the skeletons coming in, like you say.
Those
the
things
right
do so much
clicks.
damage.
37 a hit.
Holy moly.
And that's why.
Spooky scary.
Oh, top lane. Looks like there's going to be initiation. Resolution, though, gets the arrow off. He leaves forward. He will, but the magic damage. See you later, says the Oracle, but it won't matter. Ori will still drop, but you do see a little bit of the power of Oracle stopping the double Star Storm. Well, I said VG Gaming had a lead. Now it's more than 1,000 gold lead for VGJ Storms. Nice. The Dark Willow laugh. That's something.
Yeah. I was
just
like
keeps
waiting for
going.
that to
Yeah, it
end.
just
I
keeps
know
going.
you were trying to talk over it, and at some point, bottom lane, Snake King's in some
The
trouble.
bug, he finally gets it off. Should be a kill, though. It will be, and that's mega kill. 321 for Paparazzi.
So close.
If you haven't noticed, it looks like, yeah, you know, or he is going to get his own stack. I was checking stacks. He just didn't have any. Did he? He missed, too. He didn't even get his own stack.
They got the D-ward bottom as well, which is really important.
I think this isn't looking too bad for VG
Yeah.
Gaming right now. It was that top lane, bottom lane, but then you get the counter kill, and now
Yeah,
you're
this,
a little bit fine.
this is a big timing for them. I'd like to see them connect on mid to the Brood lane. Like, get a kill for him. Preferably with Lanham, but it looks like he might go down. I'll be fine. Oracle's here as well.
Oracle
If
will
they get the root off,
Dude, these bug. Look at the bug. He has to kill it though. SVG. I think SVG needs to help him kill. They will purge him.
got level
Place-
6 on Wraith King just now. He just hit it off that creep dying.
And he's gonna stun in. Resolution gets a kill on. Damn.
Big boy crit coming out from
Torn in
Snake
there.
King.
Dude, Land M needs to be careful. If you didn't know, Resolution as well rotated middle. So they
Dude.
VG Gaming took what you wanted for them to do, and VJ
Dude,
Storm
that-
rotates.
I don't like that they rotate bottom. Like, what purpose does that serve? It's an off-lane Wraith King, and he hits 6.
Uh-oh.
And you end up getting turned around, and you need to get your Brood ahead in the mid lane.
Should be okay here again. We have that. Yep. And Resolution knows this time. He's like, I'm not wasting a
Yeah.
leap and Star Storm mana.
He
Dude,
doesn't
they
have a
got
leap to
every
waste.
spider
Imagine.
mid as
Good.
well. Like, that, the whole tempo of the Vici lineup comes from this mid Brood. If TA shows up with like a Deso blink 14 minutes, 15 minutes in, like, I actually don't know how you stop him. Like, his blink timing is going to be crazy fast. And look at all the low armor heroes on Vici.
I'm
Yeah, the
looking.
thing about this TA Brood matchup is it's all about who gets that first Roche, and that first Roche is all enabled by who can pressure who out of lane. And like because of who can pressure who out of lane, they'll hit their timings faster.
Should possibly
They're
be
fording
killed.
top in order to
Look at
push
this.
or
He just
dive the
killed the
tower.
bug out. Instead, Dark Willow's here. Hexed up Weaver. You're not level 6 yet,
Wow.
my friend. Dude, they have so much burn. Like the
Rezo?
Wraith King crit plus that. Rezo will die.
What was he
top.
doing? Whoa. Yeah, you better
There's
say
another
sorry.
kill, looks like.
He's really feeling himself up there.
Doesn't get it.
But I will say, we mentioned in the draft that we wanted to see a lineup that really threatened Weaver when it's a first pick, and these Willow Lion cores, or supports, sorry, are exactly that. The Weaver does not have free reign this game, and a hero like Weaver, when having to play scared, is much less scary. See what I did there?
What build do you want on Broodmother? I did see though.
Okay, just making sure.
Do you-
Kyle's a little slow, so I
We've
usually have
seen.
to
Well, what's
bring
the
attention.
newest build nowadays? Like, I've seen quite a few still.
I've seen
Diffusal used
Diffusal
to be the big
Blade.
one.
I've been seeing. I've
Dude,
seen.
I'm telling you. I mean, against TA, it's a bit weird, but I stand by. I think 3-3 showed you the best way to play Brood like 6 months ago. You get HOD every game, and he goes pipe. But they 10th pick it a lot of the time. But like HOD specifically is the item on Brute.
I feel like pipe is meant to make it so your spiders never die, but this
Yeah.
game, the way they kill them is sideways,
exactly.
so you probably
And
won't go that.
that's the TA factor, where the entire game you threaten spiders.
Yeah.
And especially with Deso, you just one-shot them with one side blade. And one mistake from Brood, all of a sudden your power's
Oh, they're looking.
gone.
Lan M, he has level 2x. Will he get it off? The trap slows him down. And Yawar, he'll just run away from there. And there you see, it's a 3-for-1 bounty, or pardon me, there's a lot of bottles.
Yeah, it's
Bottles
2 for
are
2.
back, yeah, 2 for 2. I was like, there's 8 bounty runes on the map now? My goodness.
Yeah, it's just all these side laners now that there's bounty runes. It's so much nicer
And you
for
can
you to
buy
get
it
them,
there.
and you can buy it at the side shop, exactly, or secret shop.
Yeah. I like that Snaking chose to max stun this game, especially with a Lion against a super low HP hero like Weaver. It's just
they just have
so
low
much
damage
pressure.
early game, so
Yeah.
padding the stats on that one is really nice. Weaver
Here we go,
does
middle.
disjoint that.
Oh my, a blow up there. SVG
Yeah.
with just the TP rotation. I like it too because Yawar kind of baited it in. He wasted his, not wasted, he used his refraction, and then the Brood was probably pretty good.
I just feel like both these all 4 of the games we've watched, it just feels like EG and VGJ understand better where to make their
Oh, and
moves
look
to.
at, yeah, bottom lane, he's feared. Do we have any crits? We do not. He does have an ulti. He will just go
Wow.
back. He has a regen rune as well. And now instead, X goes on MSS. He does not have any abilities to save him right now, and he will just go down. Radiant will get the middle
But
tower.
look at how much was invested. In the meantime, the Brood has died twice. The TA kills mid tower. He's got a blink now. He can go farm ancients, then rotate wherever he'd like. Where did they find that kill? On the support underneath their own tier 1 tower. It took, what, 2 TPs? Just 1 TP? But 3 heroes?
But it
Like,
cost 3 heroes. Like you said,
Yeah.
people don't realize it's just like real life, right? You go to a job, you get paid for your time and your work.
Exactly.
Just
Are
like
you
here-
getting paid for this?
What?
I hope so.
Oh, shoot.
I love Dota.
I need to
I'm getting
retalk
paid
that.
in great Dota.
I will
Ori.
say, Ori's being forced to go first
gonna
item
go.
Blink Dagger with no treads.
Or
That's just not good.
Yeah, that's like...
That feels
You can tell he's in a
bad.
bad spot when that's his choice, because he knows he has to drastically change this game, because treads means you're happy farming for a bit longer, you just want to play your lane, but he knows
Yeah.
that this game's getting out of hand pretty quick.
It's strange to me that they value Tiny this highly and they play it like too exclusively with Blink Dagger every game. I feel
Yeah.
like the strength of Tiny is once again the versatility of how you can play it,
Yeah.
and specifically from the 3 position. If you try and force this Blink 2 position, snowball, I'm going to kill everybody by myself, it's so all in.
Yeah, TA already has a Blink Dagger of her own
Yeah, dude.
working on, like...
And the Brood is 4th in net worth, man. Like, this hero had to be ahead.
That's just the TA matchup. And as long as the TA understands exactly how to play the matchup, it's
Uh-oh.
really unwinnable for Brood.
middle lane. They're looking, but oh, they see him. Looks like he will just get away. Simple as that.
SVG's skill build 4-2-0.
You like it?
I like it. He's
I don't think you need man.
his lockdown this game is incredibly impactful against all the heroes.
That's super value when you're playing against the Weaver as well. It's helped them land a bunch of kills on him.
So why don't you go mana drain in a lane like bottom? Speed it out, because I know
The
like,
time you spend like draining mana, you're just
Right
gonna die. Yeah, I don't think you can stand there for more than a few seconds.
So I do want to say one of the, I mean, I don't want to say noobs, but like one of the most common skill builds I believe is like pretty much just 2-0-1.
Or like,
Ooh.
at least the 1-0.
So why is it bad? Explain to the noobs, just because.
Eh. If you go, that's the build to like stun and harass people. But at the end of the day, it's
Which
because
is good in a 2
it
versus
used
1.
it used to be good, but like now you want to find kills.
Oh, top lane, arrow under tower on the Oracle.
Let's get a hit,
Got
gets
him.
the double, gets the kill.
Well played by Rezo.
And he almost has a maelstrom. He has a maelstrom and 2 creeps.
Forced
here,
out a
which he'll
Weaver
get.
TP too, and they see this, so they're probably gonna try to apply pressure either bottom or mid on the
It's
side
a
of
big,
VGJ Storm,
big move
knowing
from
that Weaver's
Vici.
not there.
It's like 5 or 6 minutes later than I would have hoped for, but they are gonna finally connect on mid. It's just like Yawar's already pushed the wave. He's
And
gonna
he's
just
blinked
get
out
out of
already.
dodge. Yeah.
And he knew he popped a trap at the Ancients and got a bunch of gold just trap on Spiderlings. So bottom, they show a couple of heroes. Middle, I'm sure VGJ Storm knows something's up. It looks like both teams kind of know the rotations.
And this is the difference with the new Wraith King, right? In the old Wraith King, didn't have to respond to him when he's pushing towers. Now, you do.
Just great movement from Storm once again. Weaver TP'd top, right? He's bottom now.
He had to
Upper outs-
walk all
yeah.
the way back here.
Mm-hmm.
They just run. They just pop Marana ulti and get out.
And that's why you apply pressure the minute you see the Weaver come top. Because you know if he wants to get bottom, he's going to have to walk all the way there. So you forced him effectively to not farm the entire
Yeah,
time he spent walking back.
And this entire time, your 2 cores, Rezo and Yawar, they're just free farming.
Look at Wraith King. He's going Radiance. He's got 3,200 gold towards a Radiance at 14 minutes in. This hero is not considered a flash farmer.
Yeah, with treads and a wand. It's
Yeah,
not like he just went
it's
in
not like
naked.
he went the brown boots, you know, naked Radiance rush or anything like that, which please never do.
Oh, we have a Tiny on the backside, does get the blink, kills SVG. They're going to look for more. A bring back will come. Wraith King does have ulti if they want to try to come down here. Terrorize will hit too. He's going to try to TP wall terrorized, and he's gone.
It's a great TP decision. Well played.
And that's
They-
top.
Yep. He caught the Kunkka.
And now they forced you bottom, and now TA takes top for free.
How close to
VGJ
Deso?
just
But well, not for free. 11 is going to get the tier 1 tower middle.
That's true.
So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but obviously as a brood, right, you're
see
probably
him,
hoping
though.
you've taken more than that.
They're going to collapse on top of this trap.
He will go over the hill. Now he's hiding in the trees. Another trap goes down. He's actually out of webs. He gets back in him right there. And
Oh my god, the
Little
spiders though.
Oh, so close.
nice job by
Yeah, just
11.
for fun. TACS is 228 at 15 minutes.
But you see, they're going to get bottom tower as well. So it is a decent trade, but top lane getting pushed in. They know, right? Resolution and Yao are having such a great
They're
game.
planning on fighting this. Rezo's TPing in late.
That's interesting. That's different. Keeping after the tower is actually dead.
And
Look
VG
at
has
this.
to be onto something here. They get wrapped around on by the supports. Tiny lands a 2-man combo.
Will, he gets the boat in here. It should hit on most of them. Yeah, SVG and MSS instantly blown. Resolution just running away, snaking. You're going to drop. His ulti goes off. In comes, here we go, though. YS from the backside. Snake hits another stun. Resolution's here, has the Maelstrom. And now an X comes out. Snake King has 21 charges still, but look at on the backside. Lanham, he gets ulti by Fenrir, though. He stays alive, and now they're trying to bring everyone down. Fenrir goes down. Ori is going to take a ton of damage as well. He's done. Lanham goes down, and the 3 cores of Radiant just massacre everyone else, but wait up. The last man in the fight, it's going to be 11. He pops his ulti. Snake King should go down here, possibly, but he gets bursted down immediately. Paparazzi will even go for the kill. He tries to, and now he's going to ulti, run back, and, well,
I can't believe that fight went so well for them.
dude,
I think you're just ahead with items. They knew they had the TA Blink Deso, and he just shredded people there.
I thought that was the Yawar, right? He blinks in. He knows who to go for. They use an Oracle ulti to save another support, right, instead of a core, and then they just kill both supports. And now we have a go already popped out. Wonder if they muted all of them because they were tipping.
Yeah, Vici got lucky there. They had, well, not luck, I suppose. They had a 3-man boat, 2-man Tor on
That
both
was sick,
supports.
yeah.
They immediately went down, but they extended the fight. TA gets there so much faster than Brood, just as a nature of the hero, and of course the Blink Dagger. And then, like, Brood even have webs? Like, yeah, he placed them like
Placed
all the
2.
way through, but he had to walk from like the river to the bottom lane. And I question Storm's decision to even defend that tower. It works out for them in the end, but like the tower's already dead. And as we said in the last game, who cares? It's your bottom tier 1, your Radiant.
Yep. And there you see.
That seemed like a high-risk,
fight.
low-reward play for VGJ Storm is what I have, is my overall opinion on it. Yeah, they ended up winning and because they're ahead by 5K net worth going into the fight, but yeah, it was an odd decision. I think that they're a team that, from what I understand playing pubs with them, is they think we're ahead, we don't give anything to the opponent for free. Even if that thing is a very small, unimportant objective.
Well, it's also just that they're going Radiance on Wraith King, right? So he's just taking that fight with like 3,500 gold.
Yeah, 2/3 of his net worth is not effective right now. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting in his. He's saving up. He's getting that interest.
Do you like the Radiance in this game, though?
I
Or
think
would you
it's
like
fine.
Armlet Blink or something?
It's never bad. You're playing against 3 cores that all need right clicks to do damage, and you're so far ahead. Like, there's no reason to go something like a Blade Mail if you don't need to.
But this is going to be one of the LAN M. He's almost level 10. He is farming, getting a little bit of items here and there, but I think he's just going earn. Yep.
The way I look at items like Radiance for a hero like Wraith King in this game is they don't need anything else from him. If they needed him to do something else, then the Radiance would be quite bad. But you're seeing they're allowed to play the game they want to play. TA is in no rush. She's got the Blink Deso, but she's still farming. Gonna be in some trouble bottom, yeah.
X
The
marks
Mana
the spot,
Burn
brings
Talon
it
was
back.
taken on Weaver. Going first item BKB on Weaver with nothing else in
That
between.
feels bad.
That's, once again, when you're behind, you have to make some adjustments that you don't want to make, but they know they have to fight their way back into this game. They're not going to out-farm VGJ Storm, and you're seeing that in the item builds of VG Gaming.
Man, I can tell you 11 is so mad right now. He's checked both times. It's like just ruining his pattern. A single ward that's blocking this Ancient, he's checked twice now, and he's like, they definitely have a ward now. They might counter, and it's just gone. But destroys his farming. But Ori, he's got Blink, he's got his treads. Do you like the Echo Saber next instead of like Shadow Blade?
If you go Blink, if you don't have an Echo, you just don't have any burst.
You don't do any. You do a little bit of damage, and then after that, you're just
but
useless.
This is the issue with this Blink first. Like, now what? Like, yeah, it's nice. You can make some plays happen, get a pick off here and there, but he's 6th in net worth, and you fall off so quickly.
It doesn't accelerate you at all, is what you've mentioned time and time again. It doesn't, like, Shadow Blade at least gives you attack speed and damage, but the Blink, if you're not killing somebody, it's an item that you're not too happy with using off cooldown to farm anymore, because the long enough cooldown where you'll miss kill opportunities if you blink too much.
Yeah. Paparazzi just continues to farm
Well,
the
top
bottom
lane.
jungle. Yeah, I was looking top. It's just been MSS. Yeah, he gets killed. Finally, he was just like hitting that tier 2 by himself with SVG behind him. Look at if they find him in those trees, but they won't.
But that's all space, honestly, while Wraith King farms his Radiance. It's one of those things where when you're the Willow in this spot, you're just a support. You're like, I'm going to farm this lane, and if they decide to kill me, then so be it. But because I'm farming this part of the map, if they don't deal with me, I'm going to be a support pushing their tier 2. So they're forced to gank me rather than gank my Wraith King. And that's something you can do when you're ahead.
Well, Tiny up here with Oracle. Maybe they have Blink. Resolution should be a little bit careful. It's a tough kill, but
You are so farmed right now.
Yeah, I saw Sheepstick queued up for him, but he's going to go BKB first. Yeah. I like TAs nowadays are oftentimes going for the Scythe of Eyes rather than going Orchid Nullifier, because it's just less in gold to do better things.
Especially since you really don't need the damage and you're playing against an Oracle in this game.
Yeah.
So you just blink Hex, whereas if you were to Orchid Nullify somebody, those just both get cleansed.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll get asked about stuff like, why are people going Scythe of Ice instead of Orchid? And right now it's just better as an item overall.
You can't counterplay it. It's a timing now where you're strong for the rest of the game. There's nothing you can buy that's just like, oh, they have a Hex, like I'll just get this and we're fine.
Yeah, exactly. If you see them have an Orchid, there's so many items that are cheap, like a Yule Scepter, or even like a lot of agility carries are perfectly fine building Manta, but like, or a BKB.
The phrase I use, it's like
Hex,
top of the stack, right? Like if you ever played card games where they were like mechanics that you just keep playing them on top of each other until somebody wins, right?
Yeah.
There is no card to play on top of Hex.
You can build a Lincoln's, and even then, like it doesn't.
Oh,
it doesn't
arrow!
solve your problem.
It is gonna hit, but the Tiny does have that
the status
resist. Yeah, and it'll take him back a little. He's gonna dodge all the magic damage, but now look who's here. It is gonna be Awar. He's doing a ton of damage. Pops his BKB. Is gonna be killing SVG on the backside. There goes Ori. They're gonna look for more. They're just killing bugs actually. Paparazzi trying to run away, but he'll just run away. 1-for-1 trade.
I just don't like the Fusel on Brood.
It's a weird item. It enables your spiders to hit people, but I don't know. It's an item that I feel allows you to control your lane, and he isn't in a game where you can do
You're
that.
playing against like 3 heroes that are all going to naturally buy BKB. It's actually, they have 2 now and another queued up. I just feel like you're going to have a hard time getting into these fights as Brood. You're a tower hitter more so than you are an actual team fighter. It's just literally how fast can I farm and then take my advantage to take out objectives.
Yeah, the fact that Snake King had the luxury to go Radiance in a game like this, it's the complete opposite of what BG was forced to do. They were forced to buy Blinks and first item BKBs because they knew they had to force fights. On the other hand, he's this Wraith King that would traditionally be their initiator, so that's why he's going Blink potentially next. But he says, we don't even need initiation right now. We don't need to take fights. We're just going to farm 3 lanes, and you'll be forced to come to us. So he gets to build a really luxurious item. And that's a lot about how these pro players think about their itemization and something you can try to learn from when you're watching. But they are going to find Lanham, Offensive Torrent, and that's sending a message from SVG. Just making sure they get the kill. There's no reason to take any risks, hold back abilities. Why? You know, why are you holding onto that finger?
I like it. They take out top lane or top waves, take Roche, and then you can just immediately move into the other area of the map, play mid, play bottom.
We're seeing this very often on Radiant teams. It's a very smooth transition in the game.
You stun in, will he get the terrorize? No, cancel it out, and just a disarm. As we talked about, disarm pretty good. I mean, it's a good defensive and offensive ability on Oracle.
And it's just good movement. Once again, resolution. He's like, all right, guys, thanks. I'll stay bottom. Now I'm going to just hit this tower.
And this is something where VG's not going to come to a resolution because if they bring heroes, VGJ Storm will just pin you.
It's also inefficient because look at where Storm's position. Like, they're mid. They'll just walk over.
That's exactly.
Do I'm actually really surprised. I've heard a lot of pros say they think the 15 strength is an ability. I mean, the 35 skill damage is just so good nowadays.
Yeah.
The 15 strength.
I've
is
seen
like,
people
just get
take
it.
both.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both nice. 15 strength is 330 health.
I think when you have Radiance,
You think you just want to survive longer?
yeah, especially since your crit is base strength, base damage, if I'm not mistaken, and
It's all damage.
So it is base damage too, though.
true.
It means it's part of it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what he was
15
trying to
damage.
say. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you were going for.
Well, top is
Kyle's all about
boring.
sounding like he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's really just testing us at all points.
No, I thought it was the opposite. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but in reality, I'm just riding your coattails.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's what's really happening, but I wasn't going to call you out that hard. on
I
stream.
appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So he does have the Blink Dagger complete. Courier flying out to him for the Wraith King. And they did this whole maneuver where they take bottom. We've seen it time and time again, and now they're back to
Overload
top
it.
lane because they haven't taken that tier 2.
SVG's invis though, not smoke, just
And,
invis.
and VG knows that they keep letting them just take objective by objective. They're just going to slowly but surely lose this game.
It was 5K, now it's 10.
Yeah.
And they look at the tower. They've melted. Like, it's such great play from VGJ Storm. They just sweep the map, kill the towers, place wards, and then they just rotate to the other side of the map. Now they're top. They're like, hey, we have Aegis still. Let's just walk high ground.
And that's the important thing to think about in this patch is from VG's perspective, what were they supposed to do about this? Like, the way VGJ Storm is playing this clinically, there's no counterplay.
It feels like, yeah, it's the same as first game, right? Like
Oh, they tossed the Wraith King in, but the
X
XD synergy?
And it should be. I mean, he has his ulti. He finally will go down. Radiant's burning.
He can
We
be
do
on
see his
Brood,
stun come
but
out. There we go. Yawar, there's the ulti, and now they're getting in here. All the BKBs pop. That's going to be a lot of rum on everyone. But the Tiny just dies. They do get Snake King, so the Radiance is gone. MSS dies, and I think all these 10-second BKBs are just too much for VGJ Storm. They push base. They get a tier 3. Will he be able to blink out? It's
Torrent?
up. He gets...
Oh, we got him. Do they not have detection? No way. Oh, no.
What does he do here? You got to blink out eventually, right?
Oh,
he's going for the kill. Oh my
okay.
goodness, he styled.
He knows
on
they don't have
Predator.
detection. It's
He knows.
is that
Oh,
flying
there
on
it
the
is.
courier? It's sentries on the courier.
But I think it's the other one he has to give him. Yep, he's going to give him the land.
Swap him out.
And now he does. He will find him, and it will be a kill. SVG,
It's like,
hello.
where's my team? Rezo's still full health and mana. Where you at?
Damn.
Only the one
I
lead.
wonder where he is at that whole time.
Yeah, it just the one.
Oh,
lead.
arrow hits the Weaver. Blind, no way of blinking or anything like that.
Yeah, that
And
was,
bounty runes are out, so that's an important objective
they
that
still get the tier 3, though.
Yeah,
both teams are thinking about right now. We see Paparazzi immediately TP bottom, go for the bounties. Something you should do as a core whenever a fight ends and bounty runes have spawned recently. Gets the haste rune as well. Oh, okay, he gets it on the Weaver.
I think you're fine with that trade because with your Storm, you keep the game even, but now you're able to take shrines and then set up for next Roche.
You're not happy about it simply because that's best case scenario for VG, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's not in any way changing their game plan. Like it wasn't a drastic, like you said, catastrophic or anything like that. But definitely VG needed that. Etherland's completed in full on Kunkka. He had no gold going into that fight.
Yeah.
He had just the Void Stone, and so he got a lot of gold off that.
I want to see them not go for Tiny anymore, though. I think the Brood specifically and the Weaver, if you can lock her down, are the targets. I think the Hex on TA will change things.
I think, didn't they went for Brood, he just got Oracle ulted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ran
Brood
away,
got
do you
Oracle ulted.
think? And then he did get healed to full, though.
Yeah.
Definitely could have committed a little more damage, but...
Yeah, it's really going to just be the Wraith King or the TA just killing the Oracle at the start of the fight, and then you're free to go for the other course.
Anyone you want.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, these BKB obviously that's why VG Gaming like won that team fight, right? They're 9 to 10 second BKBs. Like resolution doesn't do that much damage if he doesn't have the Maelstrom Mjolnir procs. I think once those go to 5 seconds, it could definitely help. But we're gonna see a shadows coming
And
over the land.
The Oracle has great synergy as well with these two cores, Weaver and Brood. Weaver, because obviously you'll get your time lapse off no problem, but Broodmother, when you're healing for double thanks to your lifesteal, like you actually just keep yourself alive. You don't even need the Oracle once you get that ult on you.
We see Paparazzi farming. It is still a 9K lead for VGJ Storm, but VG Gaming, we've seen they can take fights. The question is, can they take fights outside of their base?
Yeah, it's a lot different when the opponent team's going high ground on you. Roche is still the next objective that really matters. It's going to be spawning in the next 2 to 5 minutes. DD Rune top, if somebody can scout that out. A lot of good DD Rune heroes in this game on both sides. TA on one side, we have Weaver, Tiny, Brood. They're going to get on the Mirana. He has a bottle as well, so that's even more impactful.
Still minute and a half minimum. So, VGJ Storm, though, they want to go in. They throw the stun out. It's going to be on Tiny. Tiny gets arrowed as well. Will there be an ulti? Fenrir hasn't popped it quite yet. Boat on the backside, going to give everyone rum. Yo, it's going to be fine. Paparazzi gets the kill on SVG in the back, and now he ultis. Do they have dust? They sure do. They get it off after the ultimate. Can they bring him down? They do, and now 11's going to run in, just right-clicking onto this TA, but he's taking a lot of damage. Nice two-man torrent, though. This should be a kill on the TA. Sure is. On the backside, Tiny will go down as well, but this Brood is the problem. They turn back around, snaking, haven't even killed him once yet. He's now stuck inside. He's in the pit, but they won't go for him. On the backside, Dark Willow's just bullying 2 heroes by himself. Finger comes out, almost kills Kunkka, finally goes down.
Good
and
focus
SS
fire
gets
from
it.
the Brood Mother there.
And now Snakey hasn't even popped his ulti. He's like, please kill me. He's been trying in Rezo.
He's dancing on the haters.
He is. All right, not anymore, damn. But wow, that fight. It was a 5 for 2. The biggest thing, it looked like the Brood was just going to ran over the TA, but right, once the BKBs are down, if this line has good positioning like SVG does.
It was the buyback too.
Yeah,
I think
the
that
buyback.
was very crucial because his buyback or his death forced the Weaver time lapse that then landed a kill, and now he buys back. He's the one that helps finish off the Brood.
The one thing about this Radiance build is that in the way the lineups look, the lineup of VG wants to completely ignore this Wraith King, and you can't ignore him anymore.
Yeah, it's a good
of
point.
Because of the Radiance.
He actually does
He
damage.
did so much in that fight, just walking around. And you saw that's pretty much what he's going to do in fights anyways, if you really think about it, no matter what items he builds. So it might as well be an item where he's dealing a lot of damage.
He's going to Salt Kiros, by the way. He's skipping the BKB.
And you just have the luxury to do so. That's the beauty of it. And he's about to hit level 20, which means the mana burn no longer applies from the Diffusal or the Weaver talent at level 10, so he can ult at any fight.
Picks up some bounties.
And he's got the full AC done.
I think it's a really insightful point because the TA, the entire game, has issues because you're going to have bugs and Brood just ripping through your refraction. You're always going to get targeted. There's no real save for you when the core's BKB. But if Wraith King is a threat, all of a sudden you can't ignore him. Like as you can see, they tried.
My goodness. They're going to BKB on the backside.
He's got a Ghost Scepter.
There. He does. He used it, but he will get stunned out. Now he can't run that way because Dark Willow throws down some roots, and they're just bailing on him. They almost found the kill as well on Weaver, but they'll take that. And
Tiny's had to get real creative here. He's going for an E-Blade, something I saw but has not mentioned. It's just something where he realizes that he's going to blink in combo, and if he doesn't have a Ghost Scepter, TA and Mirana are going to kill you instantly.
And this is, I suppose it really is a 3 Tiny, even though their mid player is on it, just because of the Brood factor.
And it didn't play middle. We're going to see. Let's take it.
Shrine bottom taken
shrine.
only by Wraith King. That's pretty insane how much damage this hero does nowadays. The structures with those skeletons.
So much minus armor now as well. TA Deso and the Meld Strike. No one but Brood has enough armor, I think, to not go to 0.
No.
Let's see.
Well, is it just we're back to this? VG Gaming just has to fight inside a base, or do they possibly? What can they do? Smoke gank seems so difficult for them.
I honestly don't know. They said to not give up this.
Oh, here we go. Is there going to be an ulti? There sure will. So he's going to be alive for now. Torrent will send one up, but like you said, doesn't matter if he
has level
mana
20 talent on
Snake
Wraith King.
Yep, he's fine. Slows everyone down. And for now, everyone's just going. Terrorize is going to be on the backside. It hits onto 2 of them. Snaking gets a stun up. Can they bring him down? This Radiance will be gone. X marks the spot. Bring them back, and they might be bailing. Looks like VGJ Storm is, but 11. He has a defusal. He finds SVG.
Roche is up.
He is quite out of BKB, but he's going to be fine. Line's trying to run away, but Ori will help Fenrir get the kill. And now, yeah, as you said, Roche is up. They take
if they can get Roche
counteract.
off this is huge. Otherwise, if VGJ still gets the Roche, I don't think that has much impact on the
problem
course
is,
of this game.
can VG Gaming even, like, they're going to go, they don't know, right? VJ Storm doesn't have buy. They know SVG doesn't have buyback, but it won't matter. They're going to go in anyway.
They have Broodmother ult
Do they-
to sustain.
Do they know? Does TA have Hex yet?
No, he went Hurricane Pike instead of Hex. So he delayed his Hex.
I feel like that.
Here we go. We're watching traps keep going in, but I don't think, are they going to try to steal it? Nope.
Okay, now that they managed to get the Roche, that severely shuts down VGJ's next timing of the second Roshan. And TA in this kind of game heavily relies on that second life.
And it goes to the decision to skip the Hex. Like, weren't they in a winning position? Like, the Pike is just not a game-winning item.
It's not a game-changing item.
Yeah.
It further allows you to do what you're already doing, but that Hex
Yeah,
Makes
like-
it so he can just jump the Oracle,
Yeah,
kill
that's-
him.
The Wraith King, I think, does the right move there, but there's no threat now. They can't kill the Oracle.
Yeah.
They cannot kill Oracle.
Wraith King has to force you to not ignore him, and then the other heroes have to make it so they capitalize on them going on the Wraith King.
Yep. And this game gets scary. The one issue with TA is that the hero falls off hard, especially when you're against all of these heroes. You know, the Manta, the Spiders, the Bugs, all of the, even the Torrent. If you're not BKB, the Torrent removes your entire refraction, and all of a sudden you're just dying to physical damage. The Hex is like your game changer.
Yeah.
And here we go. Smoke gank bottom. Might be SVG Tangen, or it might be Rezo, which would not be Tangen.
Has a
This would be a
BKB.
giant kill. Yep. He's going to pop it immediately. He's gone. He did go. What do you think of the Eye of Scotty on Marana?
He wants to do it for the burst damage, but I think you have sustain issues.
Ori, they get the kill on SVG bottom, pardon me. And now they find another.
I honestly love this Ghost Scepter on Tiny. There's so many times where they would have gone on him that if they know that if they go on him, he just Ghost Scepters, so he's not going to die. I think that's kind of hilarious that this little item in this game can save him so much. Last game he built a Blade Mill in a not-so-ideal game, and this game I think the Ghost Scepter is really serving its purpose. He wants to burst one of the supports if possible, but he doesn't want to die in the process, so he's giving himself that time to... Like, these heroes like TA are heavily... Like, they suffer when the heroes are able to draw out the fight for an extra few seconds.
Yeah.
They rely on that first couple of seconds of burst.
Level 20 on Weaver, +2 swarm attacks to kill. Just one really good ability, right? Makes the Wraith King not just run around. Makes everyone not just run around, right? They have to kill that bug. And now it's a 13k lead. We see VGJ Storm, they keep gaining gold, but like Kyle said, TA is only so good with so much farm.
Bruto is working on a Daedalus.
They find Lan M. Here comes the boat. The Rum will get on him on the backside. Snake King finds two of them. Fenrir goes down instantly. Paparazzi pops BKB almost dies before ulti comes out. Lan M should be dying here as well. Rum saves him a little longer, but now we're going to move forward. Will Yawar go for more? Oh, Ewell's into the air from MSS. Trap will pop down. Has a BKB. Probably wants to disjoint it. Manta dodges the stun, but range Rax goes down. Pops ulti now. Oh, the Eye of Sky slow him down. We're going to see a stun toss combo come out. Snake King will slow everyone. There's the Hex, it looks like, from SVG, and now Tiny goes down. Everyone just dying. Fear on the backside won't. And it's one. And now they're looking for this Broodmother. It still has BKB, but Eye of Scotty pretty good. They're killing all the bugs off him. Well, it looked to be maybe a decent base defense, but they just can't.
Tiny bought out for ETHblade.
And they killed the
get shoes
Oracle.
off.
Yep. And now, yeah, like you said, they jump on the Oracle in the back. There's no save.
Yep.
They have to play so much
And
differently.
Tottenham was bot at the time. Broodmother hadn't linked up, so both supports go down right at the start of the fight. You can't contest anymore if you're VG Gaming, and now you're in trouble. No BKB on Brood.
Now, see you later, Tier 3. Boat.
You're going to have Wraithing ult up again very soon as well.
And that's the thing. Boat's up, but so is the Wraith King. Well, he can just frontline all he wants, and it's up. But look at that. Hex comes out. Ulti will be there. Doesn't unhex, though, as you guys were timing out early game. And now Brood is just going in. Fenrir dies. Up in the air goes, but he'll just slow everyone down instead. Will
Wow,
that be
the Hurricane
enough?
Pike.
Is it? Yes, it will be. And now a buyback comes. Lan M's and Latrell stun comes out from Snake King. Right clicks the blind. That's a kill now. Just 11 versus the world, as well as Weaver.
Tiny's coming.
Paparazzi. Yep, but another kill.
They haven't
coming
lost
out.
2 lanes of Rax yet.
Yeah, and Snake King actually as well. Doesn't have ulti. He's tanking tier 3s here. Tiny on the backside. Looks for SVG, but Moonlight Shadow saves them.
Blink out. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and look at this. This song, they can't hit it, but he gets the Hex off.
SVG.
Lightning on top. Well, Paparazzi's here
Blink.
as well.
Oh. Does he even have a blink online?
No.
That's crazy. He's had such an incredible impact on these fights, even without one.
He's got a Vitality booster. TA running away. Obviously, can blink in 4. No mana for a fraction. If he loses the charges, only 4 left, 3 left. Nope, gets the blink off.
Has no mana, though, so he can't TP out or anything. They know this, and they're going to keep
And he
chasing.
kind of messed up his pathing right there. That pathing might actually have just destroyed him. We'll see, but it's nighttime. But
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, they saw him. They saw him.
Oh.
He has blink in 1 though. Oh, I love it. They put the purge on Paparazzi. Maybe it hits.
Ult the
Yawar and now the
bugs.
bugs. He's
He has
dead.
mana for Milt. Guys.
Oh my goodness
Hello.
gracious.
They're gonna fly down. Chicken's flying back. Wait up.
This hashtag space created.
Wait, I'm watching. Here it comes.
I like the tips. Buying some time.
The sentry
Oh
ward
my
player.
gosh.
Blink
Oh, he
down.
blinked back into the other sentry.
Now he should die, and he will. They don't even need the courier.
But meanwhile, that whole time that VGJ Storm's lineup was dead on the Marana, they just didn't get anything done other than kill the TA. So
Still a big kill.
it is a big kill, but when you get these kills in your own base, you want to be able to turn it into something. and because of the time that they bought on the bottom lane, they're not going to be able to actually turn it into anything. And this Wraith King is almost done with his Abyssal in full, which makes him even more of a threat for a hero like Weaver. Can probably burst him down full to 0 with just a Abyssal stun, which is instant, into his own stun.
Or just do it to the Oracle as well if he wants to get
That too.
That's the thing. Like you said, they found the Oracle top immediately. They don't do anything.
Yep. I think it's going to be the script of this game. Your kill on Oracle is going to give you another Rax. And I think they just need the one more, and that probably closes the game. Third Roche comes up about 5 minutes or so. Until then, probably expect both these teams to play a bit passively. VGJ, they have a nice ward up top inside the Dire base, but not really an easy one to capitalize on.
Yeah. You just know where they're at.
Mm-hmm. And
There's a gem on LAN M, by the way. Sorry.
yeah, there's just not much pressure on them right now. You know, you're in a winning position. It's just a matter of not making that critical error because your TA does fall off were you to hand every core on VG Gaming and that extra item. And yeah, dude, the Brood talents, that's something worth discussing.
Let's discuss it.
Look at them.
I'm looking.
20%
damage.
CDR,
That's good.
50 attack speed, and then 60 damage
Extra.
on your ult.
Extra. Very
So
good.
now he has 200% lifesteal. During the Oracle ult, he has 400% lifesteal.
Yeah.
But they are Moonlight Shadowed up, or whatever you like to call it, because you never remember names of anything.
Who?
What'd you say, Chris?
Talking to Kyle. Oh, what did you say, Chris? Got it. But yeah, so they are Moonlight Shadowed up. They're not going to find anything. Is that a level 25 Mirana? No. So that is a relatively long cooldown. Does have the MKB done. I guess just to deal with the mischance from Brood when she hits you.
Oh, the smoke, it instantly gets broke.
That's not who you wanna
on the
find,
low
though.
ground. Yeah, but if you can burst him down quick enough, they have to rotate over. And look at this. Miranda not in a good position. Coming over now. Finger comes out. Will they kill the Weaver instantly? They do. And
He has
now the
buyback.
BKB pops
It's buyback
in.
time lapse.
He comes in. He BKBs himself. The boat comes and kills Snaking SVG immediately. The stun hits on two of them. They're going to try to run to the other way. Paparazzi. Yawar. Will he be able to get out? He has blink up. He will blink away. They won't chase.
Dude, cast animation on the Oracle ult is
Yeah, he was
0.2
like
seconds away.
backswing,
Mhm.
ready to slam the ground, because that's what it looks like. But
It's the decision to buy back you have to make if you're Paparazzi because you're not turning that fight otherwise. But it just sucks that it's
Middle.
now going to be on cooldown when Roche spawns.
he has BKB,
one- and
but
he has
no
one
TP,
lane.
and the
He's
Brood passive
dead.
goes through BKB.
He might just
Trap.
be dead here.
Nice.
Oh, the Shrine, though. He gets the defusal, but you got to be careful. He's overextended, but he has his team behind him. Paparazzi Fender, we're going to have a buyback from Snaking. He will have ult again. Ulti comes out from the Oracle, saving the Brood. They're just trying to burst him down through it. I mean, not burst him through,
He's
but
dead
they're going to do a
for
lot
sure,
of damage. He gets
I
healed
think.
about 3 times. Paparazzi stunned up. We'll follow this young man.
Oh, the
Dead.
Almost in
Now
time.
Paparazzi's dead.
And that's game,
And
it looks
that
like.
more than likely 120 seconds.
100 seconds on
Weaver.
both cores at
I-
least.
I cannot believe Brood died there. That's nuts.
And Weaver.
Just before the regen, too. Like
That Mirana hits really hard.
Oh, yeah.
She does.
The MKB factor,
Yeah.
right? Because the mischance of the Brood no longer affects you. The leap attack speed, I mean,
Well, here we go. They know for sure Weaver ain't ever coming back into this fight
Yep.
until 90 seconds. They'll get another melee.
he's
Use
go
go in.
thrown. Hell yeah. You got to play to win.
Yep, play to win. There we go. He goes forward, actually gets the Hex up. Oh my goodness, this Tiny is going to almost die instantly. Gets his BKB up. He is ulted as well. He's trying to square up on him. Good game, well played. Okay, the game is over.
Yeah,
See
when
you
you have
later.
2 cores with no buyback at this stage in the game,
Look
you're
at
that
the
far
TA.
behind, they're just going to end it on you.
So-
And
NA casters, NA stream.
NA victory.
It's been
4-0.
It's been interesting. Would you say I've seen a lot of people still valuing VGJ Storm extremely high? Like coming in this event, how strong do you think they were?
I saw power rankings where they were like 12th, which is some shenanigans, all right? They are certainly a top 10 team, and I'd be very surprised were they kept out of... I've got them top 6 if they perform. There's very few players that can come to TI and play better than they do during the regular season. It is very much a tournament of which teams come.
And it's hot then.
They're hot, and most importantly, they play to win. They play crisp, and they make plays. That's why when we see Sumel, it's playoff LeBron.
No.
He coasts through the regular season to the dismay of his teammates and the captains that then get removed from his team. But when it comes time for the big show,
He's there.
he steps up. And will his brother, YS Yawar, Will he be able to do the same?
Seems to be. Yeah.
So
Him and
far, so
Resolution.
good.
Those
Yeah.
two, right? Like, they're two of the most farmed cores, like, together on a team. And they always seem to play well, and it's just amazing. The last 2 games, right? Snake King's also found a lot of farm. I noticed that at the summit, right? He was getting sacked, and they were losing a lot of games.
Yeah.
But now, all 3 are
Snake King's
finding
very good
farm.
at capitalizing
They-
on having good starts, so I like that they are prioritizing him a bit more.
I'm concerned about it. You can definitely see the NA meta present in the way these two teams are playing.
Yeah.
Very, very greedy 3 core lineups with a lot of innate synergies to allow them to scale throughout the mid and late games.
Yeah.
And the supports heavy disable and team fight focused.
And
The-
they have none of that stuff on the cores. The cores are just, like you said, hit creeps all game.
Yep.
So
Buy
Accelerate.
items to fill in the gaps.
So what about VG Gaming? I mean, they pulled out something different, right? First pick Oracle.
I
I just think Oracle's too weak of a laner.
think
to pull off.
Weaver's too weak as well.
Okay.
But it looks like we got highlights.
Even on the laning phase.
This is when he gets level 6.
yeah.
Right before he dies.
The
Look at
creep.
that.
I
Yeah.
think
It's
the
funny.
bug gave him the XP.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that in the game. That's
Yeah.
such a huge deal. Gets the huge crit, obviously. Probably would have turned into a kill.
It's funny.
Anyways.
It's like a Scooby Doo moment, right? Where they're chasing after, and then like the Wraith King hits level 6,
And he
like,
steals
oh
your
no.
Scooby snacks.
This,
Yeah.
this is the fight, right? I thought VJ Storm was going to get 5-0'd here. And then
Yeah.
the 3 farmed cores, right? Like MSS is dead. So
They
this
hit a
is-
timing with this. Despite like the bad start to the fight, they had the Blink Deso on TA
Yeah.
just come out.
And like this is so weird to me. Even after that goes down, it's not terrible for you. But then all of a sudden, your Brood and Weaver show up
And-
to, like, Brood could have been farming 4 ancient camps and a side lane that entire time. Instead, he uses 3 web charges
And
just to
dies
show up in the
instantly.
bottom lane and die.
Yeah. And something we saw both games where the mid laner of VG was forced into a spot they didn't want to be in, somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes, and it completely just like destroyed their ability to keep the momentum of their builds. And Brood felt relatively impactful later on in the game, to be honest. And imagine if she didn't do that, right? Like if she had that extra acceleration on her timings, and it's just one of those things where these little factors, these little decision making can really alter the pace of the game. And this type of fight, several times they had no detection for this TA, and
Yeah, that's true.
he ends up dying eventually both times that we'll see it, but he buys so much time while the rest of his team is dead. Meanwhile, just nothing's being accomplished on the map after they get kills in Vici. They get these kills in their own base, and they're stuck in their own base anyway.
I will say, though, in all the games we watched today, e.g. VGJ here, they were ahead, like the entire game. The laning phases went so well for them, and I'm curious to see, will they be able to execute these 5-man movements? Because those are incredibly important when you're trying to play 3 lanes almost all the game. If you're
And
not
if you
ahead,
don't win the lanes.
yeah. If you're not ahead, will you be able to make plays, connect as 5, kill a tower, take a fight? Because it's easy to do that when you're playing a drow lineup and you're 9K ahead. You can script the rest of the game.
Yeah.
You've like a 98% win.
You
chance
say
if you
walk
play it
here,
right.
walk there.
Yeah.
And
you just become a broomstick and sweep the map. It's
Yeah.
simple.
overall,
Broomstick or
though,
a broom?
VGJ made some sick plays in these
broom.
fights. Like, they played them
True.
very well, and these overall, just their itemization, the concept of how they wanted to play fights, knowing that they just had to not get bursted, knowing that long drawn-out fights from the Wraith King would benefit them against a hero like Oracle, almost always going to reliably get the save off. It's just clear that these players are thinking about what the fight's going to look like and how they can enable the rest of their teammates to do what they need to do. And
this was the last hurrah
yeah,
for Ichi Gaming, really. They get SVG, but
when you're forced to buy back in your own base and just get support kills,
And they
that was the
see-
Brood chasing the TA just a little bit, or the Morana, excuse me,
Yeah.
just a little bit too far. And when you die, like we said, with 2 cores,
Yep.
then game is going to be over.
And that is the last of us for just a little bit.
Yeah.
Next up on this stream is going to be another North American game. Evil Geniuses taking on Invictus Gaming. It's going to be brought to you guys by Lyrical and Trent. You will see us again at the very end of today on the main stream, where we'll see another EG game as they play Mineski. So we'll be back in like 5-6 hours. It's my first time casting TI. I had a blast
Yeah, it
this
was a
day.
good series. Clean games, honestly. And
Yeah.
it's nice to see what team plays better is the team that wins.
Yeah.
it's good Dota, right? It's
Yep.
not just sloppy and we're running at each other Dota. It's TI Dota, and it
Yeah.
is a little bit more. So anything like what do you want to see Vici Gaming improve on? I guess last thing we'll ask.
I feel like the drafting
Just
is
drafting.
just
I think they just need to play their own game. stop
Yeah.
reacting to what the opponents are doing.
They made two, I'd say, just basic errors in giving Storm Drow in game 1, and game 2 you're 9th picking Brood instead of 10th
And
picking
giving
it.
it TA.
And you're giving it's simple. Like I'm sure Storm has actually played TA against Broods in at least 2 or 3 scrims.
Yeah.
Like it's just
know
a
this matchup.
common
Yeah.
counter.
Yeah.
We're racking our brains. We have 3 heroes. They're all in the pool. They go with the one that they like the best, and they take the W. So.
Yep.
Well, that's
and
it
so
for
we
us.
said, yep, we will throw it to a quick break. Back on this stream, it will be EG versus IG, but, well, we're going down for a little bit, so we will see you again soon.